So I be in the comment sections here and there, and I saw a couple of big Christians, like these big vocal Christians, with some common arguments that I've heard so many times. I think I should address them because it can be teachable moments. We'll we'll do that today. Shout out to the Goddess Trinity for joining us. How about a mic check? Mic check to the Goddess Trinity. How you doing, Goddess Trinity? We're gonna need a mic check from your microphone.
Greetings. This is Goddess Trinity.
Thank you for joining, Goddess Trinity, for being the first caller. What you got for us today, my sister?
Actually, I thought I was just joining the Zoom meeting. I didn't know this was a question, but what is the topic?
Well, today I'm gonna be teaching the difference between a Gnostic and a Christian. People hear me saying that I'm a Gnostic a lot, but I don't think a lot of people know what it means. And I think they turned off from the word without knowing what it means. And I think it just needs to be clarified, the difference between the two, because the Gnostic and the Christian uses the Bible. One reads it literally, the other one decodes it spiritually, because it was a symbolic book with symbolic parables and spiritual teachings encoded in story. You understand?
Yes, I do.
You can agree with that?
I am actually in agreement with you. I think the religions of today are leading people in the wrong directions, and the Gnostic way leads you inside of yourself, which is the answer. So religions to me are leading people in the wrong direction. So I am in agreement with you.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, throughout the show, there will be other people hopping on, like the person here now. Pay them no mind unless you want to speak, or ask questions. This will be an open call session, but I'll be going in deep with the screen shares and teaching as well to the people in the chat room. Shout out to Goon Ho for the love, man. Appreciate the donation. He said the guy is back, smoke only. Shout out to Sound Mind Body Divine. We need a mic check from you as well. When you come on, guys, I'm just going to ask you for a mic check. Be prepared for that just to make sure your audio is right. Shout out to Sound Mind Body Divine. Can we get a mic check from you? Hit the red button. It's got a line slashed through it. There you go.
Okay, mic check.
I can hear you, Sound Mind
Sweet.
Body. I can hear you.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We got a deep one tonight. I'm excited about it. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to go in. But also I'm ready to talk to callers, man. And I'm going to take my time with y'all. I'm not in no rush. So, yeah, what brings you here tonight with us, my brother? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, hey, thanks for you, bro. I got so much stuff that I be seeing. Like, I listen to you a lot. I've been listening to lectures and stuff since like the old school tapes with Phil Valentine and all them cats. You know what I mean? Like when we used to trade VHS tapes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like it gets to a level where like you start seeing things. I'm just walking down the street and I'm seeing things. I'm just noticing my mind instead of having like a personal opinion of something that I have anyways. Like I find myself thinking about something that maybe I learned from you or, Phil or, anybody out there. But I like how you tie things together and your stuff with the etymology is so dope because it's like the language is a platform and it's also, it's a curse with the cursive. But once you study it enough, it actually makes you free. Like once you know what it really is, it really makes you free. So that's one part of your stuff that I really, really enjoy, man.
Man, I appreciate the love, man. I thank you for joining on. We definitely going to have some deep moments tonight. If you got questions, Sound Mind Body, you can interject at any time. That's the same for Goddess.
All right. All
Uh,
right. Respect.
People in the chat room, the link is pinned. Anybody can join at any time. Let me give a shout out to Love Star. Love Star sent in some love. It says sent unk and alert. Appreciate the love. So I'm a screen share here, guys. And I'm gonna go to some of these comments that I was telling y'all about. That's gonna become teachable moments. We're gonna examine some big misunderstandings surrounding Gnosticism and Christianity. And we're gonna separate the spiritual interpretation from the literal interpretation. And let's get right into it, man. Let me see here. In no particular order, I'm gonna be doing these comments as well. And I'm just I got a bunch of comments in like a bag. You shake it up and you pull one type thing. I don't know what we got first. So let's get right into it, man. Ooh, this a long one. We're gonna break it down. Let me share my screen here because the people on the call want to see what I see. All right, here go the first teachable moment of the night. It's from Nylon Tusk. It said, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. Truly, truly, I say to you, we speak of what we know and testify of what we have seen, and you do not accept our testimony. The Lord is waiting for you to come back home, bro Sanchez. He wants to put the robe and the ring and the sandals on you. Hey, you know what's so funny about these Christians, man? They don't wear sandals. I bet you none of them don't own no sandals. But that's what, but you know, a lot of people in the Middle East, they wear sandals because it's so hot, man. I mean, shit, you know. But the thing is like, the robe and the sandals is like, wow, that's crazy, man. Like, this is some real Hollywood movie version of Christianity. Like, they got the whole movie in their head, like the Passion of Christ. Like, because when I think about the ancient world, I think of a very advanced technological utopia. And again, this is a teaching moment, guys. I'm going to show you what I am as a Gnostic versus literal believers. And I'm going to do it with screen shares. And also, listen, while I do this, people going to say I'm crazy. But remember, Christ was crucified because they said he was crazy. People going to say I'm crazy because I'm not popular. What I'm about to show y'all today, it ain't popular. And the literal interpretation is popular. That's the only thing. But if you think about what I'm about to do today, right? Only thing I'm about to do is go back to the past and the biblical moments. I'm going to go into the Bible and I'm going to show these Christians they following a liar. Guess what? You can't know what a liar's saying. You got to believe them and take their word on it. A liar don't want you to prove them wrong or right. They're going to say, give me faith. They're going to require faith and belief. If I'm a liar, I don't want you to do what the Bible say and prove all things. I'm going to teach this new doctrine of faith and belief, and that ain't Christ-like. That's the papacy. It was the Gnostic, the root word of Gnostic is no. Let me go to etymology because we don't want to just say stuff tonight. When I say that I'm a Gnostic, right? You look up the word, look where it come from. The word Gnostic, look here. Today they want to say it's a believer in a mystical religion. But that's what they saying. The word existed before the 1580s, right? So just because in the 1580s, that's just like them calling woke folks and people that's questioning reality tinfoil hatters and conspiracy theories. Look at what this say. The original form was, look, knowing, able to discern, good at knowing, nostos, known, to be known. Look at that. To learn, not to believe, not to be indoctrinated. Not to have faith. I don't got to believe and have faith 2 + 2 is 4. If someone didn't want me to know 2 + 2 is 4 and they was telling me it's 8, They wouldn't want me to prove it, and they wouldn't want me to learn how to add either. They'll say, just trust me, just believe me, because the moment I go to questioning them and proving it, I'm gonna see that they're a liar. So that liar would need some security measures in play. That liar will have to say, if you don't believe me and you don't have faith, you're going to be burning forever in the lake of fire. That's how much the liar got to secure their lie. Why is it that deep? Why you just can't give me the evidence and proof? Because I don't have it. Give me your faith and belief in replace of me not giving you the evidence and proof I owe you. But watch this, though. I'm showing you what Gnostic means. Because when you are literally interpreting something, you got to believe it if the thing you're literally interpreting is a story. Now watch this, right? If I tell a story, let me give a good example of a story we tell. All right, let's just say I tell the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but I'm trying to teach these little children to quit stealing and to stay out of people's houses that don't belong to you, right? That's the lesson that they need to learn from the story, right? So I'm teaching these kids good morality, but I'm telling them this fake story. Over time, people start saying the story is real. Now, you know the problem with over time, people saying the Goldilocks story is real. Now, bears is talking. Now, we know bears don't talk to humans. We know bears don't live in houses. We know bears don't sleep in beds. We know bears don't eat out of bowls. We know bears don't got a kitchen and they don't make porridge. But in the Three Little Bears story, these bears are doing human things because that is a common thing in storytelling, to where we give animals human attributes. That's common in storytelling. Now listen, if you want to take this story literally, you will create a problem, which is talking animals. Because often in storytelling, we allow animals to do things they can't do in real life. So if you think the Bible is not just a story that's trying to teach you a real message from fake allegories, go read Galatians 4:24. It tells you in the Bible that the Bible is an allegory. Again, go look up the word allegory. It's just a story that's told, but to teach you something. When people didn't want you to learn the knowledge behind the stories, they told you to accept the stories literally. If the kids didn't learn a lesson about Goldilocks stealing out the house because I told them the story was real, and the conversation shifted to, damn, bears used to live in houses. Hey man, did you know long time ago bears can talk? It turns into miracles and magical moments, which is what we got with the religion. Things that was never meant to be taken literally. Now you got things that happen one time, but they never happen again. The snake in the Bible was talking, but snakes don't talk no more. People was doing miracles. They ain't doing them no more. Right, so it's a story that was taken literally, but the people who created the story did not mean for you to take it literally. Now, instead of for me just talking that, let me go into some teaching for a minute, and we'll read the rest of this comment right here. Let me show people what I mean here. Show people what I mean here about literal versus spiritual. The spiritual side means to deal with knowledge. Your spirit lives off knowledge. Your spirit is power, and guess what? Knowledge is power. I never heard nobody say belief is power. Faith is power. Everyone know knowledge is power. And that's what your soul goes off. You ain't feeding your soul if you're giving it belief. Now, let's deal with knowledge, because guess what? Technology, cars, architecture, biology. Guess what, folks? That's called knowledge. That ain't belief. See, the thing about these Christians, they go and tie to believers every Sunday, but when something wrong with them, they go to knowers. They go to knowers, y'all. Listen, a Christian is giving their money every day, all day to a bunch of men who promote faith and belief. But when they car break down, that mechanic got to deal with knowledge. Now, everything that saves the Christian when they back against the wall is a person with knowledge. If a Christian got a disease, they go to the doctor who ain't using faith or belief. He using knowledge. And the Christian gets saved from the doctor who used knowledge, and they say, thank you, Jesus. They shift the energy back to their belief. When no one had to believe how to heal you. This is a process they've been doing to heal this sickness for years, and it's based on knowledge. But the Christian this is how they live in delusion land. And belief, it got the root word lie in it for a reason. But watch this. I'm finna go even deeper, y'all, right? Now, a person said they literally believe in a dude that got up out the grave and cheated death, right? And they believe in miracles, that Jesus died and got up and he was a zombie. Let me show you what Jesus was, man. Because you got to understand the difference between the Gnostic and the literal interpreter. Now, this is your God. If you're a literal interpreter of the Bible, your God is literally one of these. Let me just show you. Because what did Jesus do? Jesus got up out the grave, showed you his wounds, and said, look, I just got stuck. He showed you his wounds. That'll be like a nigga shoot me up. And I get up out the graveyard full of bullet holes saying, hey, look at this Glock switch, these Glock switch holes on me. Put your hands in them. Here, touch my bullet hole, poke through it. See that, feel that? Hey, man, hey, look at me though, bro. Y'all, you would look at me like a zombie. Now, this is your literal interpretation. Why? Because you think that the ancient people cheated death by literally having a miracle of resurrection and getting up out the grave. But Jesus was put to death on a cross, right? Let me show you what the cross is. Let me show you what the cross is. Here go your cross right here. Now, we say ain't none new under the sun, right? What make y'all think brain-computer interfaces and Neuralink is new? It tells you when Christ come back to the earth again, he gonna mark his people on the forehead, and that's gonna give them immortal life. Just like the Antichrist, they using the same technology. Now watch this. Now a person may say, Sanchez, that's stupid. Guess what's stupid though? Somebody getting up out the grave, brain zombie walking. That's fairy tale. That's kid stuff. You might as well believe in boogeyman under the bed. Guess what Sanchez is doing? I'm talking about technology. Ain't nothing spooky about what I'm showing here. Ain't no faith required. This is a technological device. This is cutting edge science. And the question I'm asking, is there something new under the sun? Do history not repeat itself? Can we do something that ain't been done before? Now, the earth been here so long. And you mean to tell me advanced people in the past couldn't have came up with all the ideas we came up with before? If they did, we don't need miracle work and belief. And that would prove that the people in power is hiding history, a rich history, a deleted history of that the world we living in today may be a repeat and an echo of a world that was lost, and we just catching back up to picking back up where we left off with at. Now that's something, right? See now, that's bigger than going to church every day, hooping and hollering, foaming at the mouth, shouting, praying, waiting on a white dude to come open the sky and save you from your oppressor. See, that's the literal interpretation. The spirit inside of me, the spiritual interpretation said, look, I don't want to believe nothing. My spirit like to know shit. My spirit don't want to believe 2 + 2 is 7. It ain't going to sleep right, man. It's going to stay up at night saying some ain't right about that shit. I got to figure this out. Cause it's our spirit lives off fucking knowledge. It don't go off no belief, man. You trying to feed your spirit faith and belief is like you putting water in your car tank. Your car go off gas, man. And what I'm showing here is knowledge. I'm keeping it based on gnosis and knowledge. Knowledge of what? Technology, how the human conscious work. If you know how the human conscious work, you know it can be transported. Did you know that the thing inside of your brain that's thinking right now, the part of you that exercises its will inside of its body, did you know that it was portable? Yeah, nigga, I'm using the right word. I said it, portable. Portable, like a porta potty. It can be transported out of your body and put into other apparatuses. Yes, the very soul, the consciousness within you can be transported. And the Egyptians cracked the code. They cheated death. They figured out immortality. When they said Jesus was put to death on a cross and he lived again on that cross, why was it a cross? Why it couldn't have been a circle? How come it couldn't have been a star? You know why? Let's show you what the Neuralink device looked like, people. You don't make this stuff up. If you think I'm making it up, let me show you something else. Here go the symbol of Aten. Don't you know that the Pharaoh Aten is the one that they got mad at because he's the technological Pharaoh that got Egypt away from the law? People was following the law of karma so that they can achieve immortality in the highest heaven. When this tech guru rose up, he was the Elon Musk of his time. I really believe that Elon Musk is the resurrection of Aten, bringing back this immortality technology. Now check this out. Don't you know that if you put an S in front of the word Aten, you get Satan? And because he was a devil, he's Satan because the real deceiver took us away from the law of karma by saying we don't got to be good people to go to heaven or to achieve the gift of the gods, which is immortality, because I have a little device where when your body expires, we can just transport your consciousness into this big computer. See, people don't want to let you know that the world we in may be a huge mechanism and a simulation that was made by ancient tech gurus. Now, people will laugh at what I'm saying, but guess what? Everything I'm saying based upon knowledge. We can do this right now, what I'm saying. What I'm saying right now, we can do it right now with the technology we got. We can upload your mind into a false Earth-like simulation that's in a computer and you wouldn't know the difference. We already put a rat inside of a computer and the rat lived out its life, didn't even know that it was living in a fake Earth. The rat was running around on a hamster wheel that did not exist. How many of y'all seen that experiment? Drop a 1 in the chat room. This is ancient technology coming back to the earth. History repeating itself. There are people walking the earth among us that are Christ, Jesus, meaning they are immortal ones. They look like us, but they're not like us. And it ain't like they're aliens from another planet. They are the first transhumans who cheated death and broke the law of karma and the universal law, and they condemned themselves because now they can't leave this shit. They are trapped in this simulation called Earth. We can leave with death, but they can't because they got the mark of the beast, which is the damn chip. I'm showing y'all that this is old stuff. It ain't nothing new. Now, what I'm telling y'all is that the Christ y'all are following and believing in for immortality was the image of an old tech guru. It wasn't a real person. It was the image of Aten that shifted over time into different ethnicities and personality once they started taking this symbol literally. If a person tell you today, hey man, long time ago there was a man that died on a cross and he cheated death and he lived again. If they didn't tell you that they was using some technology that's shaped like a cross that allowed them to cheat death, you would say, oh, it's a miracle. you would start going into miracle talk. If the people in power don't want us to know that the ancients were just as advanced as us and that we ain't even smart, we just reverse engineering the ancient world, we making the same mistake that they made, why they failed, why the Egyptians failed and all that. They became too tech savvy, too much of anything. See, our ancestors got caught up into transhumanism. And a lot of them did things that you would think only a God can do if history deleted itself and said, hey, the ancients didn't have technology. They were primitive. Now, when people tell stories about people cheating death, about people healing blindness, what are you going to say? You're going to say, well, the ancients couldn't have done it with technology because they was dumb as hell. But they were smart as hell to be magicians, though, and sorcerers. Let that sink in, because the same people that tell you our ancestors didn't have technology would tell you that they were pagans who were practicing Satanism and black magic and calling out the false gods. But then they'll turn around and say that we was talking to the dead, healing the blind, and raising the dead with our voodoo and black magic. The same voodoo and black magic that got us at the bottom of society today. Because the shit won't work to get us out the projects. But it work every time that the enemy want to fucking delete history. When somebody say, man, they've been telling stories about your ancestors raising the dead. If you don't want me to know that Elon Musk is plagiarizing ancient technology, you would just say, oh man, your uncle was a fucking magician. He was a sorcerer. So you double talking. You will allow my people to be magicians and they magic work when you can't explain how we was accomplishing these great accomplishments. See, when you can't explain why we were doing these great things, you allow us to be magicians and shit. But we can't be magicians when it come time to say, well, hey, if my magic working and you praying to Christ and that ain't working, then why don't we lead a church? Well, no, because you got voodoo and black magic and you got a false god. But wait a minute, this false god was able to do good things and heal people? You see what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention to how a Christian will say, I'm stupid for thinking that the ancestors had brain-computer interfaces, right? But they don't think they stupid for thinking that a man cheated death with a cup strapped to his damn head. Because they got a literal interpretation and they don't see nothing wrong with their literal interpretation. They think it's totally fine to believe that a man used the device, the Grail cup now, the Holy Grail, it's a cup. And if Jesus put this cup on his head, he can live forever. And they don't think nothing wrong with believing that. I think it's more feasible that Santa Claus exists than a nigga with a cup strapped to his head cheating death. But see, they gotta believe it, right? Because it's canon. But this cup was never meant to be taken literally. The cup of immortality was a device that you can find all throughout the ancient world that resembles brain-computer interface technology. And if in case you didn't know, the technology that's gonna allow humans to become immortal is gonna be brain-computer interfaces. Now, let me show you some more about knowledge and gnosis, because I'm not showing nothing today that's in the realm of belief, mysticism, or none of that. Ain't no mystery to what I'm showing. It's technology. You can go buy a Neuralink chip right now and you can take it apart. You can study it. Ain't nothing I'm saying require faith. It don't require no belief. And Elon Musk didn't create this technology with faith and belief. This is all knowledge right here, man. You got to know what the fuck you doing to be a tech guru. And when you Christians get sick, you go to these satanic folks. Did you know that? The doctor that's touching your body, he may be a Satanist, but you relying on him. You know why? He got knowledge. You don't ask your doctor what religion he is before you let him work on you. You don't know if he praying to foreign gods, if he praying to the devil at night. You trust him. Why? Because you know he got knowledge. You don't give a damn what your doctor believe in. You looking at his degree on the wall. Now stop me when I lie, because I ain't gonna do nothing but show you how fake the shit is that you a part of. I was in it too. And the thing I'm saying is, look here. The Grail idea didn't come from the people who gave you the literal interpretation in your Bible. Ancient people was talking about this device and how it gives immortality, and they was dealing with technology. Our people got all this faith and belief, but we don't got no technology and knowledge, and we at the bottom of everything. That's what the literal interpretation do for you. Let's give a big shout out to Sally McDermott for the love. At any given point, anybody can join.
Hey, brother Sanchez, can I ask you something, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
What you were saying about the Grail Cup and these things being technology and the pictures of the Neuralink and stuff. I gotta ask you something about, and it kind of goes into stuff I've heard you talk about when you talk about different frequencies of light and how we see and perceive a certain spectrum of light, but that doesn't mean that there's not other things happening in a light spectrum that we can't perceive, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I meditate, I see things that kind of remind me of some pictures that you've shown. I mean, even the one with the brother on the left versus the brother on the right, you know, that funnel kind of thing. Like sometimes when I meditate, I'll see that, or I'll kind of feel it, and I'll think about some of the stuff that, you know, that I've learned from you and from other places and stuff. And I'm like, I'm wondering, are these people that were so in tune with those other structures that maybe those other structures, like in the paintings when you see the halo around spiritual figures, right? Is it possible that this Grail Cup or the vortex or something, is that something that's maybe very real? Maybe it's just in a different spectrum of light that we're not perceiving. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I see it sometimes, but it ain't like I see it clear. It's just like an idea of it, but it reminds me very much of the some of the pictures that you be showing. Yeah, the one on the left, exactly like that, exactly like that. But then, you know, sometimes it'll be different colors, you know, just all kind of stuff. And I just wonder, is that stuff that, like, does everyone have a Grail Cup sitting on top of their head that we just can't see?
Well,
You know what
let
I
me
mean?
explain something to you. The Grail Cup is, you
Okay.
got to understand something about the literal and spiritual interpretation. The literal interpretation leads to it leads to transhumanism. The spiritual, it means that everything we make in the physical world is us reverse engineering something spiritual. And I'll give you an example. This is the human electromagnetic energy field. This little cup above the head, this the same cup we see here. But this ain't literal though. It's spiritual. Right. That's why I keep saying the spiritual, because look, what happens is we was showing the barbarians this knowledge right here. This cup on top of the head is also what we call, let me show you something real quick. You ever saw the images of like the UFO ship, these right here? So this is a bunch of nonsense right here. This is pseudo. But what this come from is this. You see it? You see how he's kind of beamed up with the thing circling above his head like that?
Right, and then that's beaming up the spirit. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah,
So
okay.
so when our soul leaves our body, this bubble, these two ends that sucked in, they puff out like a big balloon, and this thing float away. What's keeping this thing, it don't supposed to shake like this. The reason this energy field is an oblate spheroid with these two cups at the bottom and top is because the human body. But when the human body is dies, this is the real us right here. This bubble is our consciousness. This is this our
Oh,
energy field.
so
This floats
right.
away.
So the bubble part is kind of,
Well,
you
let
know,
me
through
explain.
whatever.
Let me
Yeah, yeah.
explain. This top part, if we ascend, our consciousness will ascend. You know how they said a Kundalini rise from the base of the spine and out
Right,
the crown chakra. So our
right,
consciousness has saturated our entire body like a dry towel that you put in a water and you allow it to soak.
right,
So the
right,
energy that's around our body has saturated our entire body from the fingertips to every organ. This how we able to move our hands. That's what's powering the body.
right,
But also this power within the body is what's giving the body will. It's saying, I want to do this with the power or that with the power. Let me go over here. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but the thing is
right,
this.
right,
So, but to make a long story short, when this power, this observer leaves this vessel called a body, it pulls or extracts all of the energy from it, from the fingertips, the toes. All of that is being pulled up out of this body from the head up, from this top where this crown part up. And that's why when
right,
people
right,
die, they have this feeling that they have of like ascension and all that, but it's like magnetic. So this is truly like a spaceship that's sucking up our consciousness when we die, and then it
right,
goes away and it takes us to another earth and it beams us down again, because what it's beaming down
right,
is a holographic you. You know what I mean? You know
right.
how a
Man, I know
hologram.
exactly what you, man. I be seeing that stuff in my dreams, brother. I know exactly what you
Right.
mean, dog.
So
Trust me.
your body is just a hologram, and the soul is the light source of the hologram, just like
Right,
I'm showing right here, you know.
right.
And that's what this is.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
I could
reason
dig
I
it.
was showing you all of this too is to show you how, think about what I just said, sound mind. This
Yeah,
cup on our head is the part of our spirit body that's responsible for transporting the consciousness into another body.
right,
But watch this. They reverse engineered that and turned it into a physical device that allowed them to do the same thing.
right. I mean, they just had some news reports about they teleported some particles to Japan or something last month that I saw.
You see what? So we will have wormholes. People will be able to walk in a wormhole in New York and be in California in a second. So imagine how the world gonna be when you talking shit online and your enemies say, "Okay, nigga, I'm in front of your house right now. I just walked through a wormhole
Send
and
me
here I am."
location.
Yeah, it's gonna be hella killing.
Right,
Hey.
right. Yeah, that's some wild shit. Yeah, no, no, I'm hip to what you're saying, brother. You know, I study a lot of stuff and I see a lot of stuff in my dreams. So it's like it's not like nothing that you've ever said is a stretch for me because I feel like I've seen parts of what you talk about, and then you show me something, I'll go back and I'll Google it, learn some more about it, some different aspects, whatever. But a lot of stuff, especially with the etymology, it's like the more you learn, the more it's showing you that everything is coming from a central source. And the whole idea is of, the thing you did about the number seven, it's like it's so true. There's a reason that certain principles are based on seven, but like I used to say to people all the time, like every day is the same day. It comes up, sun comes up, sun comes down. There's a different length of sunlight, whatever, but it's day and night, day and night. The whole week that was put on it it's just a construct that's built on that seven, like the seven chakras and all that other stuff, man. So it's amazing how it leads you back to the same roads and the same pathways the more you study, and it makes everything make sense. But then too, like I'd be walking around, I just be looking at people. That shit you said about the dim man, bro, for like 3 days, everybody I was looking at, I was like, is that a dim man or is that a bright man?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. You can't look at and tell. That's the whole thing. It's all about feeling energy. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah,
I've met, like, if you were to meet Joe Biden, Donald Trump. A person will tell you, people tell me this all the time. They'll say, Sanchez, you pseudo as hell, man. You think these celebrities or some of these people in power is like NPCs. And guess what they say, my brother? They say, I met Trump before. I met this one or that one before. And people feel like, well, if I met you and I shook your hand, I couldn't inspect no robot vibes or MP. And guess what? If folks think
he ain't so bad.
Right, like, but then again,
Yeah.
people literally thinking that you can just visually look at a person or touch them or look. No, they identical to humans. You can't tell them apart from me or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you gotta watch by their actions. This is what I tell folks.
Yeah.
You want to know who's an NPC and who's not, who's pushing the transhuman agenda, the anti-human agenda. Because a real human ain't going to push an agenda that's destroying the things humans need to thrive, right? It's just like
it's
we in a real...
toxic.
Right, you feel me? So, yeah, you feel me? I'll read... But see, what I was doing here, I was showing the literal interpretation of how if a person don't like my spiritual interpretation, which is, hey, we read the Bible. Think about this, right? A person say the Bible is real. Well, if the Bible was real, you wouldn't be believing it. You would know it. Like, for example, Sanchez is real. And you ain't got to believe in me. You know I exist because you can call me, touch me. You can do all that. Just saying, 2 + 2 is 4. That can be proven. You don't believe it. So if you think the Bible is real, why do you believe it? Shit you don't think is real, you should believe. Let me give a shout out to Dreezy Dre, Awakening Minds. Much love and respect, fam, enjoying the stream. Appreciate the love, bro. I want them to understand something, Christians. You believe the Bible because you can't prove it like I can. When I say I'm a Gnostic, that means I got more respect for the Bible than a Christian does. Because the Bible says prove all things. And a Christian say, I ain't gonna prove shit. I'ma just be lazy. So when the Bible said Jesus was resurrected, I'ma follow Paul, the fake ass apostle, and believe that it was a miracle and all that stuff. See, the whole thing about the literal interpretation, that's the Roman, the Pharisaic distortion of this system, of this Gnostic system. See, let me explain something to y'all. Before Christ, there was no literal belief system called Christianity. It was called Gnosticism, and the symbol of it was a serpent. And the reason that the symbol of it was a serpent is because the serpent is what Christ is personifying, which is the Kundalini within man. Let me show you what I mean. Let me fetch another slide for this. This will help y'all out. So check this out, right? You see Christ up there on a cross? Because Christ is really on a tree. It's not a cross. Before it was a white boy on a cross, it was a snake on a tree. This was the original system, though. I need the mic check from F. I need a mic check from F soon as you get your audio because your profile look kind of crazy.
What's up, Sanchez?
What's good, my brother? Appreciate you for joining. Appreciate the mic check.
Okay. Yeah, I was up here last time.
You got it. You got it, man. But let me just wrap this up real quick, y'all. I want to show them some while it's on my mind. The concept of someone being on a cross, a dude on a cross, is older than Jesus. Look, y'all. You see the dude on the cross right here? Now, what they say about Jesus, they said Jesus is the rock, right? Look at the rock right here in the middle of the earth. I'm showing you the cosmological side now. This is part of Gnosticism. In fact, the original name of Christ was a Nagi or a Naga. which is why you even get the word Gnostic, because this were the people who knew the truth. Ancient flat earthers taught we're at the center of the universe. If everyone is in their own dream, then guess what? The world is around you is within you. What did Jesus say? The kingdom of heaven is within. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into Gnosticism, because today's show is about showing you the difference between spiritual, literal, and the two. But I will go deep into Hermeticism, Gnosticism, and the deep part of and all that. But check this out. This black rock was never a person. Over time, people start personifying this little black rock. What is this black rock? This is a portal that leads out of the earth. In other words, that's the gateway to your higher self. That leads to the seat of the soul in a higher refined version to you of you in a higher realm. This is what the ancients taught. They taught that there's a better you and a next reality above here that you're going to be born again into. And the way out of here, when your consciousness, let me show y'all something real quick, because I want to be thorough. Your consciousness is a ball of light. Now, here's the thing. Light can't escape a black hole. So when your consciousness no longer has the body to anchor it to the earth, and it's you just this ball of light, you're going to be magnetically drawn to this black rock. Now, look. When your light goes through this black hole, you will wake up like in a dream in a higher realm and remember that you fell asleep and you will learn your lesson from this life and all that. But watch this. All of these black lines you see are magnetic ley lines, but they're more like spiritual highways for souls that die at any location on the earth. So no matter where you at on the earth, you're going to be around this black cube. You will take the closest line back home. That's what these souls are doing. These are the spiritual highways. Just like we got highways in the physical world, these ley lines are spiritual highways, and the ancients built a lot of structures on these ley lines because this physical realm and the spiritual realm used to be infused at one point when we had this knowledge. So when we used to have this knowledge, which is called serpent knowledge, which is the knowledge they don't want us to have, which is why they curse the serpent by making it literal. They made the serpent, which is the wisdom bringer that was making us like God. He was just trying to make Adam. He was trying to promote them. He was saying, baby, let me upgrade you. God don't want you to be like God. Now, what kind of God don't want you to be like God? Now, if God is good, what kind of God don't want me to be good? What kind of parent don't want their kids to not only be good, but better than them? Now, watch this, right? They cursed the serpent by making him a literal dragon that you should be scared of. Ha, 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 I'm gonna burn you with fire. It never was a story about that. It was about this serpent here was just them personifying a sine wave of energy, because your spirit is a spiral. It's a spiral of energy going up and down the spinal cord. That is the central nervous system. Let me let more callers on too. And people see what I'm showing you here is the fact that before Jesus, people had the knowledge of resurrection. They didn't have the belief of resurrection. You see the difference? When people lost the knowledge of what happens when we die, they got scared. They were vulnerable. And now the Vatican took over and assumed power and said, listen, this is what happened when you die. If you don't do what I say, you gonna burn, motherfucker. You gonna burn. And people say, oh, I don't want to burn, Mr. Bishop, Mr. Pope. I'll do whatever. And he said, get on your knees and pray to my fucking God. And that's the only way you're gonna escape them fires, nigga. And you did it. And you did it. See, because there was no such thing as no dragon burning your ass in no fire. When they wanted to curse this knowledge that the serpent was bringing, They made the serpent a monster that got y'all scared. And guess what happened when people get scared? They need a Messiah. They need a savior. And Jesus was the new created savior, which is the literal interpretation. Because guess what? Once they make the serpent literal, they got to give you a reason that allow him to have authority over you or put you in hell, and that was sin. The word sin is just the word sine wave, sign. But they turned the serpent to the symbol of sin. And they said that sin dwells within man, but really the Kundalini force dwells within man, or the spirit, the chi energy, which is represented by the serpent. But to make a long story short, you now got this fight between the devil and Christ that never existed. You only had one God in the ancient world, and that was the serpent. That was the serpent. And the serpent within man was there to guide man to his highest potential. That was it. There was no dumb crap about no. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the serpent is your higher refined energy within you that lives on when you die. Is guiding you while you living. You see what I'm saying? So, and they turned it into a snake, but no one believed that the snake was real. But the literal interpretation came along to hide this knowledge though. And it was I hate to say it, it was a simple, ingenious way to hide this knowledge, and that tactic is called inversion. You flipped it inside out. Just by that's literally what the spiritual and literal is, the inversion of each other. Right? So if you got the literal interpretation, you're believing that a man died on a tree or some type of cross or some kind of hill so that you can be immortal. And that leads to you serving that man, kneeling to him, doing what the people who gave you that man and who wrote that story, you become a slave to them basically through religion and your literal interpretation and belief. Because now you begging for immortality, but the spirit in you can't die no matter if you beg or not. If you didn't beg, you gonna live on if you don't beg. You can't, if you understand what your soul is, it's immortal. Even the people that's promising you immortality is tricking you because they not really giving you immortality. They just giving you a residence called heaven when you die so that you can escape the hell's fires, because they know your soul can't die. And they telling you, listen, you're going to live immortal, whether it's in heaven or hell. But they telling you that the gift of immortality, how is it's not a gift. You're immortal anyway. It's just where you're going to be immortal at. But the Gnostic didn't have a place called heaven and hell. The earth is heaven or hell, depending on whether your spirit is ascending or descending. Your experience on the earth will be good or bad in each lifetime, based upon spiritual currency system that we call sum up within this law called karma. But outside of that, what I want to show between the spiritual and literal interpretation is that the literal interpretation makes me believe in the papacy's blood sacrifice, paganism, which is someone died on a cross so I can be immortal. But the whole concept of people becoming immortal on a cross comes from technology that we was using to cheat death. Here it is right here. And that technology was them reverse engineering what's happening in the brain or the seat of the soul. If you look at these 4 continents right here in this flat earth North Pole cosmology, guess what they are? They are what's called the 4 hemispheres of the brain. If you're looking at the brain from a top-down view, it looked like a 4-leaf clover. You got these 4 perfect hemispheres, right? And they all are around the pineal gland, which is this hole in the middle. So if you look at the human brain, it got 4 hemispheres of the brain. I'm trying to find one where I guess we'll just use this for now. So you got these 4 hemispheres of the brain, and they all are meshed around the center Polaris point, which is I just showed you. Let me show you right here. See, the earth is made like our brain. You see right here. So look, why is the earth made like our brain? Because when you dreaming, you walking around earth, right? But where are you? In your temple, God, which is the head. When you're in a dream, you're in the sleeping dude that's in the bed, you walking around his head while he's sleeping. So we're in a dream, in a dream, in a dream, we're sleeping gods, and death is just awakening. Now check this out. If you look at this image, it's 4 points on this thing because it's 4 hemispheres of the brain. And then in the middle is Christ or the light. The Christ said, the only way out is through me, because this is the stargate in the core of the brain that the soul exits the body through this point. And so if the soul is leaving the earth, it got to leave the brain. Why? How do you leave a dream, folks? Do you walk out of a dream? Do you fly out of a dream? No. To leave a dream, you got to go within yourself and wake up. Because a dream is your own thought, your own mind you're in. Let me give a shout out to Kristen Smith. Thank you so much. Say, glad to have you back. Oh, hey, glad to be back. Yeah, that's why I'm telling folks may say, well, why does the earth shape like my brain, Sanchez? Because check it out. Everyone is asleep right now in their own dream. And all of our dreams are interconnected for an online experience where we're networked right now gaming together from our own sleeping body. So this is how the ancestors interpreted reality. This is Gnosticism, folks. This is knowledge. It ain't no belief. You and people, well, Sanchez, you can't prove that. I can't prove that I be dreaming at night. But everything you said about the earth in your brain, so where the hell am I in my dream then? Well, Sanchez, yeah, right. Now let's move on. Yeah, right. Ain't nothing what I'm saying belief is knowledge. It's already been thought through by many ancient people, so I can go gamble on this shit. I can gamble on knowledge, man. That's like saying I will put my house up that 2 + 2 is 4. You the one that's in with the mysticism and the faith and the belief. So the shit I'm talking, it may not be popular, but you can't debunk it. You can't debunk this shit. We do this every night. You have deja vu. Everything the ancients say, your own human experience testify to it. That's how deep it is. You gotta deny that which you are to walk away from what I'm saying. You got to deny the people. It's people that's right now, they making a lot of money in the church and stuff. They got to ignore things that the church act like it don't want to explain, like parallel realities and all this. Because they telling us, well, it's a bunch of planets up there and somewhere you'll reach heaven or hell if you go up or down. Boom, 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 you know. But the ancients had different concept of more of a multiverse. And we have proof of that. The experiences we have testify to the ancient concept. But just to get back to the spiritual verse, the literal here, the literal Christ was pierced in his sides. And let me just show you something real quick. In the story of the literal Christ, Jesus was being pierced in his sides by a lot of different arrows. They was piercing him in his sides. And the reason they was piercing Jesus in his sides is because he's the rock. Jesus is called the rock, right? Jesus was on the cross, right? This rock is on the cross. Jesus was pierced in the sides. This rock is being pierced in the sides by magnetic ley lines. Jesus had a crown of thorns on, right? This rock has this halo around it. Jesus had a halo and a crown of thorns. And you can see that the rock is circled with You know, they started to personify this rock way before Jesus. Prove it, Sanchez. Here go my proof right here on the collage. You see this little fella right here? This is an early form of Christ on Mount Calvary. Shout out to Fela B. When you dream, you never use your phone. Ain't that strange? Shout out to Fela B. You see, they started to personify that rock. And here's another personification of that rock right here. Look. You see this Celtic god right here? Boom. So a person may say, well, this dude died on a cross so that I can have eternal life, and you missing the point that this is the ancestors teaching you of how the soul exits the body through the brain, through the at Jacob, at pineal gland, at pineal, right here. So people was turning that rock into a dude, and when you do that, then the knowledge of immortality and resurrection gets turned into a literal dude that people are saying died so I can live forever, or, you know, have immortality, when that was never. The knowledge is now hidden. It's just way distorted. But just to show y'all, like, the concept of the cross for resurrection, here it is right here. Look. If you look at this pyramid here, there's a feathered serpent that the Mayan talked about wraps around this pyramid. And what they was teaching was the story of resurrection. Here is the pharaoh Aten, which is the humanized form of the serpent. Remember, Aten is Satan, the serpent. You can see there on the tree. If you got a problem with that, then let me just take you back here to Christ, the serpent. There's a reason Christ looked like a serpent and he's on a tree. It's because they're hiding the truth in your face. What these occultists are doing, they're showing you both sides of the inversion depending on how you see it. That's what they're doing now is this. The image of Christ they got right there, when the Gnostics see it, the Gnostic gonna know they're just dealing with Buddhism, Hermeticism. We're gonna make no mistake that we dealing with the serpent. See, it's two kind of people on the earth. You're gonna see whatever you're gonna see based on your level of consciousness. It's gonna take a Gnostic to point out to a Christian, that ain't no hair right there, that's a snake head. You know how many Christians I pointed that out to and they said, oh my God, you're right, I didn't see that. They literally can't see what's right in their face. Their third eye not open. It's inversion tactics. Now, the truth is hidden, but the lie is at the forefront. And if your mind is indoctrinated with the lie, you would look at this image and you won't see a snake in a tree. You will see your Lord Jesus dying for your sins. But when you snap out of that hypnotization, you will see the truth hidden behind that, which is the snake that was always in the tree, which was the wisdom bringer. The people in power ain't worshiping the damn devil. They get knowledge from the serpent while hiding the knowledge giver from you. If I wanted to be in power in the world, and I know that knowledge is power, and I didn't want no one else to have power but me, guess what I would have to hide? Knowledge. Because if knowledge is power, that explains why they got to dumb the world down. Because the more knowledge you get, the more power you get. And that, the level of power you get is directly equated to the level of knowledge you got. It ain't got nothing to do with the level of belief you got. Show me a powerful man, I'll show you some knowledge that he got. The most powerful men in the world, they rely more on knowledge and smarts and relationships than they do on faith and belief in the good Lord upstairs. Because the good Lord is your own higher self that's trying to get you to operate at your highest level, but you want to be a servant living in fear, praying for something you already got. You need to be like Neo in the Matrix, realizing that the world around you is just one small layer of a reality you're being shielded and veiled from out of your own ignorance. And the only way out of the dream is to realize it's a dream. You can't wake up from a dream you don't know a dream. And that's why people trapped here. Because people will tell you, nope, the world around me is a physical construct created by a God in heaven, and he put hell beneath it and heaven above it. And if I don't obey God, which is essentially obey my earthly authorities who are posing as the representatives of God in the flesh, right? And that's how you consent and you turn over to the papacy. But this is the difference between a literal and spiritual interpretation, because one will say somebody died for me, and the other one will say your soul literally died, just like Buddha right there didn't die for you. If I'm showing you all these symbols right here that predate Christ, and ain't none of these people said we died for you. That dragon on that cross, he didn't die for your sins. The people that you see seated, the Pope and the papacy and all them, they was the ones that now came with this new system, blood sacrifice and paganism, because they've been doing blood sacrifice and paganism. So when we showed them these symbols, they corrupted it with their paganism, and you have the corrupted form, which is the literal interpretation. That is you being ruled by fear. That leads to the energy. Sanchez, I hear what you saying. I know my God is real. I know Yahweh Shawa Mama is real. And they go to all these program responses and program name. Yahime Yahweh Shawa Hawa Yahweh Shawa Yabba Yabba Do. Yeah. And they snap right into indoctrination mode like a zombie. You know, they ain't ready to claim their sovereignty and godhood. Now watch this, right? People can talk about, well, I know Jesus was real, but check this out though. The original story of Jesus wasn't of Jesus. How you gonna take a fake news story and tell me it's real, but the people who wrote the original story said it's fake? Let me tell y'all what y'all doing, you literal interpreters, you barbarians. Guess what you're doing? This is what you're doing. You're taking the Three Little Bears. The man that wrote the Three Little Bears was trying to teach a story about keeping your hands off other people's stuff and, you know, not stealing, not messing with other people's belongings. But we know bears don't talk and the story is fake. We know that. But see, if someone was to rewrite that story 200 years from now and say this is real, Goldilocks was a real white woman, she went in her house and she was talking to these bears, people in the future will believe in talking bears, and you better not laugh at them because you believe in talking snakes. You believe in talking animals too. This is what happened when you take stories literal. So watch this right now. People not only will believe in talking bears in the future, right? They will miss the knowledge of the story, which is to keep your hands off other folks' stuff, which would be the biggest tragedy of it, because that's what the author intended. But what y'all are doing, y'all are telling the dude who wrote the original Three Little Bears story that the Three Little Bears is real, based upon your new ass copy. Now let that sink in. This man wrote this story called The Three Little Bears. He said, hey, my bears ain't real. This ain't real. It's just a fake story that I wrote. And then you copy that story in the future and you say the shit's real. It's literal. The bears are real. This really happened. You're going to argue with the dude who originally wrote that story that the shit's real when the original author told you it's fake and it's mine? How you going to do me like that, man? That's how evil y'all are, man. You going to steal my damn fake ass story that I know that I wrote it to be fake. And when you steal it, you got everybody thinking it's real and believing in fairy tales. And it's taken away the reason why I wrote the story, which was to teach people something. and you gonna argue with me, and I'm the one who created the shit, and tell me, no, man, them bears is real. Goldilocks was a real person, Sanchez. And I'm like, bro, I'm the one who created this story, and it's fake. I made the shit up in my room. No, Sanchez, Goldilocks is real. That's what these Christians will do to you when you show them the original story of resurrection before Christ. And you show them none of these stories was meant to be taken literal. You got the newest one, and that's the only one in the world that people take literal, and you don't think something wrong with that? Think about this. This same story of resurrection Christians is telling, it's being told all around the world right now. Y'all ain't the only one with it. All of these are the same concept of resurrection. Every last picture on here, and I can show you more. But you got the newest one out of the whole world, the youngest one. It just came about. And you saying that the snake was really talking and that everyone else wrong. Everyone else got this same story with the snake in the garden, with the resurrection. The snake was even called Satan because it means Santa, which is center, the center of the self, which is where the soul resides. But anyway, everybody got this same story. Y'all got the youngest version of it, and you want to argue that yours right just because it's the most popular one. That's like Pooh Boo trying to say, man, we created this shit just because more people wear the knockoff than the authentic shit. That's like somebody, they ain't rocking the Nikes, right? They rocking the shiesties on their feet. And they say, yeah, nigga, you know, this check mark is bent the wrong way. But nigga, we the gods of this shit. We got the authentic version. How you got the authentic version and yours is correct when I can show you other versions of this shit before yours, way older than yours. And it's like the dude with the knockoff shit, just because everyone rocking the knockoff shit don't mean you can claim authenticity. Now, you can claim popular content. You won the popularity contest, nigga. Like, why won't Christians just be honest and say, listen, man, we the most popular motherfucker, right? And I would give them that. But you're not the authentic one. Like, you feel me? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like, all right, I've drunk Sam's Cola before, Sam's Choice, right? And it ain't quite Coca-Cola, but more people buy Sam's Choice because it's cheaper, right? Now, guess what? Sam's Choice can't come out saying, I started this Coca-Cola shit. Now, you're doing too much now, Sam's. You know you stole that from Coca-Cola now. They been around, they authentic. Now, yeah, more people buy your shit than theirs because it's just because it's cheap, nigga, it's easy. Now, think about this. More people buy Christianity than the old version. Why? Because it's easy. It's easier to follow the blood sacrifice than the law. If I got to tell a person, you paying for every bad thing you do, you better work on yourself every day, versus, hey, man, it don't matter. Jesus washed it away in the blood. Yes, your version gonna be more popular than mine because it's the easy version. It's the cheaper version. And this is how Christianity rose. This is how the fake knockoff version became prevalent, because what Paul did, Paul said, listen, I'm the apostle to the Gentiles. I'm gonna create, he made a new version of Gnosticism for the Gentiles. And that is this papal version of Christianity that all y'all in today. You're not a Christian, you're a Paulinian. Christ was a Jew that followed the law. So why are you a Christian that's following the blood sacrifice pagan papacy? Because you're following Paul and not Christ. And Paul and Christ said totally opposite things. Christ was all about saying, I'm here to fulfill the law, I ain't doing away with the law. Paul kept saying, we ain't under the law no more. And Paul was killing Christians, and he became a Christian overnight from a bogus ass vision. And not only just become a Christian, you want to be a teacher and a big guru. That's like me killing, let's say me and you in a gang war. I'm killing the hell out of your gang members. And one night I say, man, I'm in your hood. I'm like, bro, put me on your hood. I want to be one of y'all. Fuck my set. Right? I'm one of y'all now because I had a vision. And I'm going to stop killing you niggas. I'm going to join y'all. And when I join y'all, I keep in touch with my old gang. And everything that y'all OG teaching, I say something different. That's what Paul did. Paul kept writing the Romans. He told you all throughout the Bible, I'm a Pharisee. He never said I'm a Christian, an apostle. Paul never walked with Jeshua. And I'm telling you right now, Paul was a Roman scribe and an infiltrator that really gave y'all the papal version that's I got to now battle against. People think I'm going against Christ. I'm going against Paul. Y'all ain't following Christ. I am. Christ was into Gnosticism and knowledge. Hey, let's give a shout out to Stills Juice. Appreciate the love, my brother. Let's give a shout out to D-Dub Exclusive. Much love, D-Dub. I appreciate y'all. I see Adam and Eve, that's the left and right hemisphere of the brain, and the serpent in the garden is the Kundalini. Shout out to you, bro. You made me see that. That's facts. That's facts. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. And that's the esoteric spiritual decoding that our ancestors wanted us to see before the enemy hid this knowledge with the literal interpretation of these ancient symbols. That'll be like me saying, hey, man, this Pharaoh right here was sitting in the tree and he died and rose again. Because that's the story. This Pharaoh that you see on that tree, they telling the story of resurrection in that story. But he ain't dying on a cross. He died on the tree. And he resurrected. What is that tree? The central nervous system, man. They was personifying the central nervous system. So your consciousness travels up that tree to lead the body. That's how you get Jack and the Beanstalk going up the beanstalk. And this Pharaoh is the earliest versions of these folklores and stories. Buddha as well. So, Jesus in that tree, not a cross. If you go into that Vatican building, they got Jesus in a tree. And Christians need to be asking them, hey, man, why y'all got Jesus in that tree, man? Y'all should put him on a cross. Now, that's desecration, right? But they know what they doing. Jesus was the original Jesus was in a tree, not a cross. And the original Jesus wasn't a white dude with blonde hair and blue eyes. It was a serpent, or the Buddha, the Naga, the Nagini. Now, the Pharaoh has the story of resurrection, but see, if you wanted to take that literal, we would be believing in a miracle now, wouldn't we? Why didn't the Egyptians believe in miracles? Because they had technology, not miracles. If the Egyptian wanted to cheat death, they would use technology like what I'm showing here. If they did not want to cheat death, then they would just live their mortal life out and practice righteous acts. Let me break some down to y'all. The war of Armageddon took place on the earth thousands of years ago. We're all not the same. There are transhumans and real humans walking this earth, and we have totally different agendas. We cannot coexist with each other because the environment that the transhumans need to live in is toxic to the human. So there's a spiritual war going on in this place, and that's how we fell out of Eden, which is the natural world, the more we fell into technology. It's becoming transhumanism. That's what the real Antichrist mark of the beast agenda is. But this agenda ain't new. It's an old agenda that keep coming back, just like Christ keep coming back. The Antichrist keep coming back with this same technology. Because what's the Antichrist? The Antichrist ain't a person. The Antichrist is a spirit that rose up in our ancestors that split them up, because when we started to become technological gurus, we started to figure out shit that gave us power of gods, like cheating death, transform consciousness. People can swap, they can take the consciousness out of a human and put it in an animal or put it in a computer, like they did with that rat. And that's why you hear stories of witches turning people into frogs, or Jesus casting a demon into the pigs. This was technology that allowed you to let me show you this is what was happening, y'all. When our ancestors got technologically advanced, a war broke out between transhumans and real humans. What was happening on the earth is the same thing happening now. A lot of the humans were saying, let's build a more technological earth with more machines and robots. And some humans were saying, you know what? That's too much technology. We don't want to become, androids. Now we just want a little technology to make life just a little better. And that's literally what happened with Atonism. That's why they kicked him out. He became a cult that had to flee Egypt, they say. But he didn't flee Egypt. They was expanding the empire of Atonism. He had already took over Egypt. What was going on was that they had a law system before they figured out how to cheat death. People knew that in order for you to achieve immortality, you had to follow the law of karma and good deeds. That wasn't an option. Either you do that or you will be born again in ignorance and reincarnate on a path of dissension, right? But when people created immortality technology, you had an option now. You didn't have to follow the law of karma anymore. That's what Aten did. Aten cheated death with technology. And he was telling people, listen, you don't got to follow the law no more. That's what Paul was doing. Paul was part of this same empire. That's what I'm telling you, the barbarian empire. So, and it's all about, you had people that was coming along saying, listen, we can achieve immortality without being good. You can put this chip in your head, this Holy Grail cup, and we can be gods on the earth, which is what Satan is. Satan is an immortal earth spirit that's stuck in the earth realm. That's called condemnation, because the earth realm is a false simulation. You don't want to be stuck here. But the people who tried to cheat death, yes, they can't die. But guess what they realized? They're stuck. The goal is to die. Because guess what the ancients taught? You already dead, you're waiting to live after this. You have a greater reality waiting for you. You don't want to be stuck in this underworld forever. You want to evolve spiritually to higher realms and higher realms. And these people anchored themselves here with this technology. Their souls can never leave this place, and they're trapped. They're going to trap other folks here too. The kingdom is two different kingdoms. The kingdom within that the real Jeshua taught about, he said, my kingdom is not of this world. And then there's a kingdom that you read about in Revelation called Zion that's built on the earth. And that's what people are following, the papacy, the earth kingdom, the earth Christ, which is the Antichrist. They not reading the Bible the way they should. They don't realize that when Christ show up, he's chipping people in the head to give them immortality, just like the Antichrist. Go read the book of Revelation. Tell me when I'm wrong. Christ is marking his people on the forehead, and so is the Antichrist. And the Antichrist people is receiving immortality as well. They just gonna be living forever in the earth realm. And a Christian may say, well, yeah, that's different, Sanchez, because we gonna be living forever in heaven, and you gonna be living in the earth realm too. Jesus building the kingdom on earth. He just gonna kick the Antichrist off the earth before he build it. Read the Bible again and tell me where I'm wrong. I keep telling you now, I know the Bible like the back of my hand, and Christians sitting with it every Sunday. And I'm telling you, this is true what I'm telling you. But watch this though. We ain't through this, the literal versus the spiritual. Oh, you know what? Enough of the literal versus the spiritual for a minute. I got to get back to this comment. This comment so long, I doubt if we get to any more today, but that's fine. It'll give me some stuff to save for another one. We got callers on, and I want to make sure everyone have the flow. Shout out to me, myself, to Jackie Linsky. Anybody want to grab the microphone? Let me give a shout out for all of the donations.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for all of the love and support and the donations. Shout out to the channel members. Go ahead, brother.
It's good to see you back, my nigga.
Man, I'm glad to be back.
We was a little worried, fam. Yeah. Yep. Because we ain't know what was going on until a few days before you got back. But,
I got everything back, but I haven't been able to go live consistently like I want. Because for one, I'm working on a edited documentary about Paul. Two, I'm still working on the back end with Google to clear stuff out with the channel. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
For sure. Absolutely. Yes, sir. But hey, man, good topic. Hey, pretty much, what did I write down? I wrote down tree. Tree, right? In book. Why do we call book and tree and book? So what I found out was, of course, one of the oldest gods is the tree god. The reason for that, right, is because the trees are real big and strong. So as human beings on some Ooga Booga caveman type shit, right? Excuse me, pardon my French. The first things that we naturally gravitated towards is trees. So we learned what trees do. We learned about earth through trees, right? Two of the biggest trees are pine and oak trees. Those trees were worshipped and created, and of course, we're talking about the cross and Jesus Christ. So I'm going to link all that together, right? Because I'm a syncretist. That's what we're here for, right? As you already know. But those tall things get struck by lightning more than any other structure on earth. And the two biggest ones were getting hit: oak trees and pine trees. Pine trees produce Amanita muscaria, which is the Mario mushroom, the red and white mushroom, right? Oak trees are where you get the word book from, and they produce, the paper, of course, and obviously from trees, right? But oak trees are another tree that gets struck by lightning. Lightning sparks fire. Prometheus, when you look up what the function of the god Prometheus was, the one that gave them the knowledge that wasn't supposed to be given, that's also linked to, Hashatan of Satan in the Bible, right? So that I just wanted to throw them connections out there, just link some things together. But yeah, you got it, bro.
Well, I'm going to say this, man. I can't tell a person if they're a syncretist or not. I know I am, and I salute to you, brother. I've learned some stuff from you. What I will say, the point of syncretism and Gnosticism is to strive for the spiritual system, not the literal system. Here's the thing, right? When you start bringing up real trees, that's you going into the literal interpretation, and it takes away the knowledge of the central nervous system. See, for
example,
it's
both though. No, I'm not. I was talking about both. I was talking about the knowledge. Remember, like the knowledge that Prometheus gave was the information. It was more than just fire. But yeah, like when you look up the story of Prometheus. Go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
Enough said. I ain't gonna even jump on you. I feel where you coming from. You saying, hey, I'm showing you how the tree tie into that too. I got you. My bad.
Yeah, and with the book, that's similar to that word branch also, which ties into the trees and it ties into man, because that branch is similar to your bronchial with your breath, and we all know what trees do for your breath. So that I like how book ties in right there too.
And see, he said oak tree in particular, the oak tree, right? Now the thing about that is, read this. The doctor symbolism, supreme God, Father God, tribe protector of the oak tree. The oak tree says here. See, the doctor, he's a tree god too, but it ain't no any tree. They clearly let you know that this Celtic god is wrapped in an oak tree. That you can read that right here. And look, he's the god of resurrection. He's the god of fertility, crops and corn. And what do we see Jesus doing? Feeding people with bread and shit that's corn and all this.
Is that a harp? Is that a harp that he's carrying?
That's
Like
a
a
harp.
instrument?
That's a harp. But see, they turned this god into the Statue of Liberty, and they traded the harp for like a little tablet, and then they gave it something else too, because liberation is just resurrection. But you can see he's in the middle of the left and right brain. It's just your human brain, though. And the dude in the middle is, the seat of the soul,
He looked like
Yes,
he's about to
sir.
give a concert. Like he's
Like
about to
Grateful
do a
Dead
show.
almost. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
music,
well,
sound. Yeah.
he reminds me really. There's
Mm-hmm.
this band called Midnight, and there's this dude named Vaughn Benjamin, bro. If you ever want to hear reggae, man, Midnight is they're amazing. And that picture literally reminds me of what Vaughn Benjamin looks like on stage. And if you listen to Midnight, he'll do an album, but by the time you're done with the album, you'll swear you just read like an 800-page book, man. The dude is super deep, and that's kind of how he looked. Like the upper part, it looks like his dreadlocks and stuff, but he looks like he ready to put on a show.
Yeah, and
He got
see
his
that,
harp.
and all he is like the ancestors needed a way, because again, they was trying to identify the mind. This split right here in our
Right.
brain, that's literally the place where the mind resides, in the middle of, if I can put a dot in the middle of this split right here, that'll make a cross. It'll be like where, the consciousness is at. So it is like they was trying to personify that into a dude, but people would tell you, I got God on my mind at all times. You will hear stuff like that, right? That's the literal interpretation, because think about this, right? If someone is teaching that God is seated in the mind and that we are God, but that get distorted over time to we're not God, there's a God outside of us, but he still need to be, the symbolism is still there to where God is on my mind at all times, but that's their literal interpretation of them not being able to say, my consciousness resides in my head, and that is God. That's the
Right.
God. When that knowledge get lost, it just turns into, I'm always thinking about Jesus, baby. A blood sacrifice, right?
Hey, it's like when you see there's a couple of cars in my neighborhood. They got them license plate. One got a license plate that says, "Won't he do it?" And then the other, and I see him like all
Yeah.
the time when I'm doing my morning walks, and I'd be laughing.
That's
I'd be like,
hilarious.
It's
well,
Yeah.
funny. Won't he
He
do
will,
I'd be
though.
it?
laughing.
Like, you
And
feel
what I
me?
think is, I'd be like, well, why don't you do it? How about you do it?
But I'm gonna tell you something.
Well, he
When
do
I
it.
see
Yeah.
dudes do that, it's so feminine to me, because that is
Yeah.
expected of women. Because it's like, and I'm from the Bible Belt. I know the energy, because the women, girl, won't he do it? But when I see a dude, like, won't he do it? Like, nigga, a man supposed to do it
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah,
Like,
put in the work like the Bible said.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
something about that other picture you had too, man, with the two hemispheres of the brain, the left and the right brain. Have you ever heard that theory? I don't know how popular it is, but a while back, man, I heard some people talking about how when you look up in the sky and you see that Milky Way rift, like that rift in the middle, they say
They try to
imagine
say
if
that's the.
that's
Mhm.
yeah, they say imagine if that's the cosmic split in the brain right there, the hemispheres. And I always thought that was
I'm
interesting.
gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest with you, bro. I can't say I ever saw this in real life, but I'm gonna tell you what I think, because I would like to see this with my own eyes, but I'm not gonna. Let's just assume, what we see is what's up there right here, and that it ain't too CGI for us. What I think
Right, like
about this
that
is,
right there. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like an opening, right? Like, so all of the stars, think about this, right? Oh, I know a good ass example to give you. Watch this. So let's say you got soap suds sitting on top of the water, right? But there's an opening in the middle of the soap suds like this right here, right?
Okay.
Allowing you to see through the soap suds to another, what may be potentially behind this sort of veil that's made out of a layer of suds. And that's how I look at this right here. I look at all these stars and all that light like some sort of, it's in a watery medium like the ether. All this light is within a medium.
Right.
And then there's something breaking that particular layer of the said medium.
Right.
Like what we see right here. Yeah. I mean, I can't, I could go on forever trying to articulate the words, but I think these visuals just help explain how I see this right here.
It's beautiful, man. And yo, I'm gonna throw this little gem in here real quick. The dung beetle, which is the beetle that's in Egypt, right? That everybody knows about, you know, the scarab beetle or whatever, right? But they're telling people also that that might be the dung beetle, because here's the science behind, you know, because I'm a Discovery Channel kid. The dung beetle is the strongest animal pound for pound or creature on Earth, right? And also its navigation center is the Milky Way galaxy, right? But that black part right there is a tear. But they actually got time-lapse footage on YouTube where you can look up, you know, the people that go out and look at the stars or whatever. They'll show you the actual Milky Way galaxy with clear skies in certain parts of the country, because over here we can't really see it, but in certain parts of the world you can. But yeah,
I would say,
but yeah, look that up.
And I don't mean to cut you off.
You good, bro.
I didn't say this at first, that I'm telling y'all how I see this thing, but I did not tell you how I think it formed. And I don't think it's natural, me personally. I think that some advanced technology beyond our imagination, beyond our comprehension, actually, like they said, man, they created a hole in the firmament or something like that. I believe this is a tear that didn't originally supposed to be there. This is a failure. It's not good. And that they trying to pass it off as, ooh, isn't it beautiful? This may be the remnants of some cosmic war. And this may also be letting in something that's making us age quicker. It may make the system. I'm just saying, you can form theories if this is so, if it's true that this ain't natural and this was some kind of cataclysm on a cosmic level in the heavens. Then now we can speculate how did that affect life on Earth afterwards, and could it be the reason why we not in the state we originally was in, all of this stuff. Boom, boom, boom. We can go down that road.
That's
with,
big facts,
you know,
fam. Because that's literally what's written. The whole, like literally the book, Genesis is Star Wars. Like the whole book is Star Wars. It's a rift that took place where certain things came and rifted into this realm that wasn't supposed to be down here doing weird shit. That's literally written in the Bible. So literally, that's the story, yo. Yeah. It's all copy and paste. Star Wars literally copy. Oh, Yoda is one of them deities like Lamb that they conjured up one of them rituals. I found that out a while ago. I just learned that. I just wanted to spread that word. Yoda and Lamb, Lam. Y'all know about Lamb, the deity that Aleister Crowley conjured up with all the Yoda was another deity, or so-called little whatever, right? That they say they titled it Yoda, right? But yeah, they call Yoda the child as well, and he has the original knowledge. And you look through the pantheon of Star Wars, it's copy and paste the scripture in the Bible, but it's reversed, you know. But y'all got it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Velikovsky, the old Russian scientist? He had books, Earth and Chaos and Worlds in Collision, and he went through. And he was one of those scientists that, like, he extrapolated the different densities of planets, and he talked about planets being in a medium way before, you know, instead of a planet being like a regular rock in space, he talked about them being in a medium and being in different densities and exhibiting different colors of light. And he did all of this before they had the telescope power, and he was ridiculed. But the stuff that he wrote about kind of mirrored what the Dogon were saying, and this is also before telescopes, in terms of the density of Sirius A and Sirius B, and proving that they each had moons and the Potolo and all of that stuff before the telescopes. Velikovsky is another one. He goes really deep into it, and he came to his conclusions mostly by studying old spiritual stories. And he was ridiculed until they had telescopes powerful enough that actually started seeing what he was talking about in terms of the densities and stuff.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I agree with the densities, but they try to put like a lot on a Dogon that the Dogon wouldn't really, like the Dogon wasn't obsessed with Sirius. The Kananga, the symbol they had, it didn't have nothing to do with the constellation Sirius. But that's another story, though. I get what you're saying about the densities of the luminaries.
Look at when they really had telescopes, because they got temples over in India. Y'all know about them crazy temples that are like, they all show cymatic frequencies carved into the
Right.
walls. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
and Angkor
wild, like
Wat
in
too.
Angkor Wat. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
they have telescopes looking right, and we already mapped the so-called 7 planets, the 7 chakras, the 7 spirits. Like, Jesus, God in the Bible has 7 spirits specifically, and like, so like this is all it's everywhere. So I understand, but yeah, y'all got
You
it.
know why
Yeah, go ahead.
Jesus had 7 spirits? For the
Yeah, go ahead.
same
Yeah.
reason. For the same reason, Leviathan had 7 heads, which is the 7-headed red dragon. And if you take the word Levi off of it, you just get Atan, which is Aten. Let me go back to Aten.
Right.
It's another form of Satan with the 7 spikes. The Statue of Liberty got 7 spikes. It's because people, it was literally talking about the 7 chakras or stargates that lead to 7 parallel realities. But
Yep.
all of this is spiritual decoding. If you don't go with this spiritual decoding of the 7, then your literal interpretation will be the 7 kings that ruled on earth. But you would think it's 7
Right.
kings that literally ruled. No, it's talking about the 7 fallen consciousness of man that dwells each in their own ether.
Right. In their own frequency, just like the
Yeah.
different frequencies of light.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't ever forget how powerful this experience. I don't want anybody to like take this physicality for granted. This is a special gift that was like it took so much to get us here to where we're in a physical form talking about what our spiritual form is. We are the
Right.
ones that people envy. Satan envy, like in all of the religions, including Christianity. We are the key. Everybody wants to save our soul. Why? Everybody wants to deceive our soul. Why? We are a special kind of thing. And so they wrote that
Right.
into these books, right, to remind us because once we remember, then certain things trigger literally physically. But here's what we got to remember. We're talking in a physical form from a spiritual form. So our physical is real. We are a part of that. We're all in the same, it's DNA literally, right? But when we leave this, when we go back to spirit, spirit is just as aware. It's a standard operating procedure. They fight in the spirit realm just like they do down here. It's same old politics, right? Because it's all written in all religions and all cultures, all songs, right? So we got to remember that this is not the end of anything.
I just wish
So
that
yeah,
the
y'all got
word physical was never even
I
invented,
feel you. Yep.
because it's just different density layers of spirit. Your body is
Yeah.
just another layer that your spirit shedding. Like it's another layer of the spirit.
It's a
But
layer.
we can go, we'll go deeper into that
It's
in the
another level
future.
of the spirit game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna finish this comment right from this literal interpreter and see what else we can teach from this. Let me see if I can screen share with y'all. Well, hell, you can. I'll read it out loud. Let me just read it. This person said, "I really respect you. I appreciate a lot of work and a lot of your work, and I think you truly don't have malevolent intent behind your criticism and interpretation of Christ, Christians, and Christianity all together. We share the same home state, so I have a natural affinity towards you, and I feel it's my duty upon my conviction by the power of the Holy Spirit." Y'all hear this? "To reach out to you in the name of Jesus Christ." And they from my state. And I told you, man, hey, to bring you back to the God, the Father. Oh man,
I
it sounds,
am with
bro.
it.
It's
I'm with it.
like you ever saw those videos of those kids that grow up in these little Mormon cults and these weird religious cults all their life, and they become in their late 20s and 30s and shit, and they finally get out of the cult property and see the real world and shit, and they like an alien out there. It's like, whoa, this is what was out here. Like they was lying to me.
Yeah.
Like you can never get them to go back into that. You know what I'm saying? That cult.
Yeah,
It's
I know a couple people that was raised in cults, man. They they tell me wild stories, like they had to get used to regular shit.
it's crazy, bro. Listen, it's crazy because when I hear this talk right here, it gives me nostalgic moments of me being a part of this cult that he in. I remember talking to people like this too. It's sad too, like it's sad too because it is like
And part
it's
of
so programmed. I know, yeah, you know.
part of it is a competition too. That's something that I realized. Like, it's not even about you. It's more about somebody being able to say, "Yeah, I brought Brother Sanchez back into reality." You know, I was the one that got him off of that syncretism nonsense. You know how he would be bragging about you if he brought you back.
Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm,
But that sounds like real love, though.
It's like
I ain't
you're
gonna
not
lie.
gonna stop me from knowing
That was
to
that
go
was some
back.
love.
Like, but the thing is, like, they're convinced that they can stop you from knowing and go back to believing. They don't know
Yeah.
you can cross a point of no return. It's like once that little boy see his mama and daddy putting them gifts under the tree and setting that milk and cookies out there, and they snuck down there and ate it, and he saw that, you cannot. When he go back and tell his friends Santa Claus ain't real, they gonna tell him, they gonna try to persuade him to believe that Santa coming down the chimney riding reindeers from, but his cherry been popped as a child. Now he got to tell his friends, listen, Santa ain't real. That's your mama and daddy. Now, guess what? They not gonna believe him. He know the truth, but he can't. They gotta see for themselves. That listen,
Yo, I was that
you
nigga.
got
I was that little kid.
guess what? Guess what he tell? He got to tell. Look, I dare you to stay up on Christmas Eve and see what happened in that milk and cookies. If you don't want the truth, you better stay asleep. But if you want the truth, then guess what's so crazy?
They woke. That's great. Yeah.
Kids are so scared. Listen, let me just say this real quick, because I'm having flashbacks. Don't you know kids love Santa, but they'll be scared like, oh, Santa, eating the cookies and shit. Now check it out. Why won't all kids stay up to see Santa doing? They really don't want to prove the shit true deep down inside. I remember being a kid always hearing the rumor that Santa may not be real, just like Christians have always heard Jesus may not be literal. But as a child, the popular belief is Santa's real, man. And the parents will tell you, don't you take that belief away from the children. Let them have their, but you know, you're lying to them though. And I think
Yo,
it's
because I'm an
wrong.
older brother. I'm an older brother of like 3, right? So I for sure knew right away. I knew early. Because I had 2 younger siblings, so I was like, yep. They was like, hey, we
But
need to go get this stuff for all of
yeah,
y'all. So I'm gonna need you to keep them away from us while we wrap these gifts. So
right.
I was never even given the chance to even believe in Santa Claus. I promise you.
And
But
it's like,
I was the little nigga telling all the other kids in the neighborhood, you know, your parents, if you like exactly what you said, if you stay
but
up a
what
little
they,
late, you're gonna hear them
you
wrestling around and then the pack.
what do your, listen me myself, what do your parents tell that badass kid in December? See, they don't even gotta whoop him in December. They can tell him, look, Santa ain't gonna get you shit. You
Facts.
better sit your
It's gonna
ass
hurt his
down.
soul.
Right? Hey, you ain't gotta whoop him in December. He believe in Santa. He know he ain't gonna get shit. But see, check how deep this is. They're training you to get you ready for the church, because check this out. They're telling the little boy, be good or Santa ain't gonna get you nothing. Right? Now, the little boy want to be good so Santa could keep bringing him gifts. He can't prove Santa is real, but he just know me believing in Santa and being good is getting me gifts. Now, a Christian
Facts. Yep.
that's a Christian that feel like they living a good life and they blessed, when they hear me, they say, Sanchez, look, I believe in Jesus. My life is good. I got friends that chose the streets. Their life ain't good. How do you explain that? Because I'm getting gifts. Santa Claus giving me gifts now, Sanchez. How you gonna tell me Santa ain't real? I'm blessed. Look at my car. Look at my blessing. You see what I'm saying?
Sir, absolutely. And yo, bro, and we gotta distinguish. You're right. We gotta distinguish between. There's a cosmic, conscious. There's a conscious, spiritual, cosmic karma, right? That's a real thing that we're gonna have to deal with as spiritual, because we're not just physical. That's what I want to keep reminding people. We are here before our physical, or what we would call physical shells, right?
But
We were here before that, right? So what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, like, there's a cosmic, spiritual karma that we're going to have to answer for the things that we've done in due time. Just
Most
like it's a
definitely.
standard operating procedure down here, there's a standard operating procedure in the spirit realm, in all the dimensions and how we traverse them, right? So what I'm saying is, we got to be careful to not just shun all of that aside, not believing that we're going to have to pay for what we do down here.
I want you to don't miss the
Good and
point
bad
of what I'm saying about Santa, because check it out, right?
Yes,
The child is acting good based upon his belief in this false man that's gonna give him gifts if he be good. When the child no longer believes in Santa, the child still believes in another form of Santa, which is Jesus.
That's different than God, fam.
Let me talk, bro. And the child has said, listen, I got to be good. Your action is still being controlled by something you can't validate, is what I'm saying with the child. It's saying your righteous acts ain't coming from the fact that, listen, you ain't gonna get shit. You ain't getting no gift. You ain't getting no curse. You doing right just because it's the right thing to do. You ain't getting a pat on the back or nothing. You doing right just because you want to be righteous. If that ain't enough, you ain't a good person. You ain't a good person. Because guess what, bro? This is what created the Pharisees and the false prophets, who only do right to be seen so people can give to them and donate to their little, false causes.
No, I see your point, though. Yeah,
So
I see what you're saying.
That's why I was saying,
the perversion comes from thinking
that's why
that you can work your way into.
You telling a child, if you don't be good, you ain't gonna get the gifts, but the child gonna act up again in January and February. So you want to build. You listen to what I'm saying. You think on a level of a child if you believe in Santa at 30. So, for example, a person can be 50. But if they say, Sanchez, Santa brought me gifts, that's a child of me. In my mind, I'm thinking mentally, right? So, because the person must have a mental growth stunt problem. So I'm telling you, when a person trades their belief of Santa for another version of it, it's no different. I still look at a grown person that's believing in a new form of Santa. Now, that's giving them, because what happens is a child... bro, let me land. It's not a debate. Listen, what happens is a child will ignore the fact that they mom and daddy work hard to get them gifts. They will downplay that work and just say Santa gave it to me because I was good. And when they grow old, they work hard for everything they own, and they will downplay it and say, man, it's the Lord who gave me this. If it wasn't for the Lord, I wouldn't have none of this. Man, if it wasn't for you getting up every day working your ass off, you wouldn't have it. That's what you teach your children. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. I'm going to read some more if no one want to grab the flow here. Salute to the panel.
No, definitely that. Santa Claus is not God. I just want to make that clear. You can't even draw to, like, I get what you're saying, like children believe in Santa, but like a 30-year-old believing in Santa, there's something mentally wrong with that. But God is different than Santa, because God is what we describe as the forces that are unseen that we have
Didn't
evidence
you say
for.
that you was a syncretist, though?
Okay, you was gonna cut me off? Like, for real, you just went for a minute, bro. I just need 2 minutes for my 2 cents.
No, I was just listen,
of course,
bro,
I am. Everybody know I am.
Man, you always do this. But I'm trying to get you to see something, because I'm teaching today. I want you to see something, because you're not saying what I'm saying. Santa means, no, you're not. Santa means center, brother. It means all these images I've been showing you with the snake in the center of the garden. That's Santa, center. So Santa is God, because when I talk about God, I'm talking, hold on a second. I don't want to put you in the waiting room. I'm going to steer this ship. And when I feel like there's confusion, then I have to mute everybody and beat and teach for clarity for the people. I don't want nothing distorted.
Yeah, you're not really teaching me nothing, but like you're.
It ain't about you for real though. It's about my show, and me keeping true to what I told the people, that I'm gonna have teachable moments throughout the show. What I'm telling you is, the force within man, the seat of the soul, is where God, what I'm calling God. You keep trying to say what I'm saying God is, and I want to be able to explain to you what I mean, because you keep telling me Santa ain't God. And yes, it is, man. It is. You just don't know what the heck, why I'm saying that, and you won't allow yourself to know it. That's what you Christians do. Y'all turn into barbarians and get combative, and y'all think you run everything, bro. Like, fall back when you're in error and allow yourself to be corrected. Ain't nobody interjecting for no reason. You always do that with your literal interpretations. When I say like the bro don't like to learn and it gets annoying. He just want to be in error, hold up the show, keep us all yawning, staying in one little stagnant little spot with his misunderstanding when all of us deep. But what I don't like about him, he would say shit like, I'm a syncretist. No, you're not what the fuck we are if you still battling and debating me with your literal interpretations, holding the fucking show up, man. Y'all get what I'm saying on the panel? Like, I'm trying to say, if you want to be a syncretist, humble yourself, allow me to teach you some shit that we all know, because it's actually getting annoying, and I'm sure it's not just to me at this point. Like, because people want to get the deep knowledge about Gnosticism, and you keep taking us back. Santa ain't God. Bro, we know Santa is a white dude that say ho, ho, ho. But again, you dealing with the literal version of Santa. You don't know Santa means Satan, and that the original form of Santa is the serpent at the North Pole right here. And the serpent, Santa, Satan, Santa, was the consciousness within man. Why can't he stick around for me to teach him that, y'all? Why he got to get combative and turn up with me? Why can't he say, you know what, Sanchez? Explain yourself to me, brother, because I keep hearing you saying Santa is God. What the fuck you mean by that, bro? Because you throwing me off. I don't agree with that. Don't that sound mature, y'all? Isn't that a mature way you go about that? Or is it just me, chat? But to me, that's the mature way
man.
You do
it's
that.
your show, man. It's your show. Some people, I think, don't understand
but rather
that.
it's my
like,
show.
you can ask questions,
okay.
but
Yeah.
well, I just because I never really heard from that dude, but I've been on shows before, and it's like at a certain point, if you have a show and you're teaching something, even if I disagree or if I think I know something different, I'm not going to get on here trying to act like I'm the one that's going to teach something. I'm going to listen, I'm going to learn. I might ask a question, but I ain't trying to take shit over.
And you know what's crazy though? I want people to teach something and correct me if you think I'm in error too, because y'all know how I am, but I appreciate the humbleness, bro. You already know. But the thing about me, myself, he give himself titles he didn't earn. Like, I'm a syncretist. I'm everything. I'm an etymologist. You don't do etymology. You're not syncing shit together and decoding the spiritual meaning. You keep showing up with Pastor Pork Chop mentality, but these, like, why you got to say you a syncretist, bro? You just a believer, man. You got faith, not knowledge. And because of that, we clash.
Okay.
And the thing about him is, it's simple when I say, look, Santa is God. The Pharaoh here is seated at the center of the universe. That's what look at his hat he wearing. This is the original version of Santa right here. The North Pole God. Santa is a god at the North Pole. Here he go right here. Shoot. Here he go right here. They was Santa with his big boots on. People was personifying the seat of the soul. The word center became Santa. And that's why everything, and when they said Santa is holding on to a bunch of strings, controlling the reindeers, it looked like a dude holding on the strings. Look.
Right.
And that's all I'm saying. They took this knowledge literally. People will say, well, Santa ain't God. Well, people was teaching that God is seated at the center of the brain. His Bible even tell him that the human body is the temple of God, but the temple is the head. You see what I'm saying? So let me just show you what I'm saying. He will say Santa ain't God, but he missing the point that God is at the center of man.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of looking at it backwards.
He looking
like
at it
kind of the
literally.
same. Yeah, with that literal thing, because you could put other people or deities or whatever in place. You could talk about someone else. Let's say you were looking at Viking or Celtic culture. I'm sure they got like a Thor character or a Zeus character that in all of his pictures, he's going to be at the center of everything. So you could say that they're bringing that dude as a god figure.
Santa literally used to be a deity in the old world that would reward you for doing good and curse you for doing bad. How is that not like the same way God is to humans? God bless you for doing good and curse you for doing bad. So regardless of what a person say, if they say they're syncretists, they should know when I say Santa is God, I'm not believing in no ho white dude flying in no fucking reindeer
with the big old hat on.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're a syncretist, you ought to know that I'm saying, look, when I say Santa, I mean the serpent, which is the center of the self. I assume they know that, and I'm just telling it to the people. I'm being very thorough.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's why Jesus' head is in the middle of that cross, because that's the center of the earth. If you look at Jesus' head in the middle of that cross right there, that's the same image I was showing y'all earlier right here. Look at here. You see this dude head in the middle of the cross right there on this little Celtic sign? That's another form of Christ right here. It's the same concept, the North Pole God.
And that's similar to the science behind the fez too, right?
Yeah, for sure. This the fez hat, the witch hat, a lot of shit, man. Even in Inspector Gadget, they got him with a little hat that got these helicopter propellers where he can ascend up. It's the same shit.
Right. I used to always wonder why Inspector Gadget, he never busted a crankshaft or nothing. Like his shit was always working. I was like, man, there's too many screws and shit in there.
He was a tech god, just like Jesus. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That was Elon Musk back in the day.
Yeah, because Elon ain't really one dude. Elon is an egotistical spirit that rises up in men who do tech work. For example, bro, if you was a tech guru and you found out a way to heal blind people, cheat deaf, it's easy for you to say, well, damn, nature got all these flaws and I'm fixing it. Maybe I'm smarter than God. God can't even heal this shit, and I had to do it. People like that can really gotta watch themselves, brother. Think about it. If you got the technology to raise the dead, you got to humble yourself with that kind of motherfucking power and technology, bro. Or you can really start thinking you're God and you can start rebuilding reality according to your technological plans, and that's where we at now.
Yeah. It's like that movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp, man. Elon was the first person I thought of when I saw that movie. Do you remember that movie where he basically he passed away, but he put his soul into a computer, and his girlfriend built a company to build basically the first data centers or whatever, but like all the machines and stuff were sentient. And he was living through the computer and he was building this whole world and stuff. That's what I started thinking of, because that was back in like the 90s, I think. And when they started building these data centers, I started thinking similar to what you're saying. What if there's a being or spirit or whatever that's super old and that knows all of this technology, and it's just taking its
That's what I'm
time
saying.
and
Ain't
putting
there you
these
go.
things together piece by piece.
Ain't no such thing as new technology. It's ancient technology coming back after a reset. And that's why this stuff was prophesied. They tell you that was people gonna seek death, but they ain't gonna find it. Why? Whoever writing back then, this happened in their time, and this history keep repeating itself.
Oh,
It is written.
shit.
I don't know if my name
Now,
coming up on the thing, but
now it makes sense.
to this panel. Salute to the chat.
Hey,
Everybody.
let's
So,
give a
so
shout
what you're
out to
saying?
that's written on the iPhone.
Yeah, see, I
Salutes,
don't know.
bro.
I got a new phone, so I don't know if it's
No,
showing my
your
name. I
name
gotta
ain't
fix it.
showing up, man. Long time
Okay.
no hear from. Hell yeah, brother. Man, much love. Sure.
Yeah, salute, man. Always love, man. I'm
Hey,
glad you're back, man. I had Willie been asking about you, like, man, where's Sanchez at? I'm losing my mind. I can't find him. I was like, yo, chill, bro. He had he had some issues that he got to take care of.
hey, I'm on what you call it? Here's what I know, y'all. The hacker is from Illinois. All of you niggas
That's
from
Chicago,
Illinois,
huh?
I'm
You
gonna look
found
at you
out?
niggas funny.
Yeah, let us find out it's the same old ones.
Just know that
So look,
yeah, go ahead.
so look, Sanchez, what you were saying. So basically, this is what I get from what you're saying is that however long ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, if you're looking at a spiritual, let's say let's take the sinking of Atlantis as an example, right? They talk about the destruction of the land, the cataclysm, but that some of the scientists and those people got out, like some of the people on the upper echelon of the knowledge base got out. So you're saying that maybe they're
What you mean by
writing
got
some.
out? Got out mean
Well,
where? What you
they
mean?
survived. They survived. So imagining that there's a group of people that survived,
Yeah, go ahead.
and these were people that lived longer than we do now. So they're telling stories, and what you're talking about with the reset, and that they've seen it before. They're telling you that it's the same thing that happened then. Just to
Mm-hmm.
use that as an example, but the same
Mm-hmm.
thing that happened with that cataclysm is going to be coming around again, and these technologies were in use before, and that's why they can predict certain things that come
Yes,
to them
because
in the
The
future. But
Vedics and the Mayans do that already.
let me explain something to you about
Local knowledge.
this has to be clarified. When we
yeah,
talk about, and this will be quick, shout out to D-Dub. He said, I believe the data centers will be the concentration camps to house everybody in the digital world. Well, they don't have to do it at the data centers, but so appreciate the love. We can talk more about that. Shout out to Eludimo. I think I got that right. No such thing as death, only amnesia. I concur with that as well. Check this out, right? Prediction, right? People that make predictions, it ain't like they using some magic or they going in a closet and meditating and they doing some trick with the mind or nothing like that. You know what the ancients had that we don't got? They had a rich record of star alignments and events on the ground. So the ancestors had libraries where they was recording the alignment of the stars in relation to big famines, big tsunamis, whatever. And if you do that for thousands of years, you will start to see patterns form. You will start to see over generations, hey, every time the sky align like this, humans do this. Every time this pattern happen in the sky, there's a great leader on the earth that does this. So what the ancients have found out by studying the stars in relation to human events, which is basically the foundation of astrology, astronomy, all that shit, they was able to make predictions and tell you to the T, like the Mayans, based upon them having a rich records that they can look at from their ancestors of them showing where this happened before. We don't got them records no more. So when people who do got them records make predictions, we think they using a magic gift that we don't got. When they hid this stuff from us and these records from us, we just can't access it. Like
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Right.
Knowledge is literally a tech. It's a tactic and a technique. Like, you know, you practice martial arts, you get better at, or whatever sports you're in, right? It's an actual technique that you got to practice to get better at that old school ancient wisdom.
It's called what you just said, astrology, looking at the sky.
So, yeah.
You know, technique.
Yeah, you just look at
exactly
the sky.
what you just said.
Yeah.
Now, you
So
trying to
you
come
can do
behind
it.
them
Hey,
and say it's a technique.
so Ray, you can do it
Goofy
because
as
you look
hell,
at the
man.
sky.
How you gonna come behind this man and say it's a technique?
We gonna turn down on him. This is always
Quiet your
fun.
pom-pom.
It's
Quiet your little
always
cheerleader.
fun to hear Redden go in on these
No,
guys,
shut down that
man.
little
It's
lap
funny,
dog.
but
You gonna come behind you and say it's a technique when you just
Shut your
explained
Pomeranian up, Sanchez.
astrology, looking at the
Put that dog
stars.
away.
Hey,
Put the little dog
that's
away.
that's
It's
crazy.
just yapping about nothing.
It's crazy,
Thank
man.
you.
But nah, this
So go ahead, Sanchez.
I'm gonna leave the
Can
floor
I
open.
speak on that, Brother Sanchez?
Yeah, for sure, man. Call it in the chat room. The link is pinned.
Okay. Well, basically, I originally got up to talk about the Gnosticism and all of that, but speaking about the astrology thing, when your boy says, you know, that it's like a martial art that you got to work with to get better at that wisdom, like how it's getting better at a sport, it's like, it really is like that. Because I do charts. I've been doing charts for years. And you really be finding that shit, bro. Like, if you meet a person that's got their son in this particular house, they gonna act like this, or they're gonna do this. Because
You see
look,
patterns,
Are you talking about a natal chart?
Natal chart.
You don't let them build.
Bro,
No,
let me
good.
do, because bro, dudes be talking about shit is bullshit that they don't even know nothing about. You know what I'm saying?
When
So,
I'm
we
hollering out about it,
listening,
and then
man.
Sanchez let that
Go ahead.
Pomeranian little lap dog just bark.
Hey man, wait.
So-
hey bro, let's. Oh, man.
So I'm gonna break it down, right? So the idea is just like you were saying, you know, you notice that if a certain pattern in the sky happens, that this particular thing happens on the earth. But even when you talk about people with our own charts, you know, it like me being a teacher, let's say you got a kid that can draw really good, right? And I mean, this has been going on for years. And this particular kid, first semester, will come and sit in a particular seat. A motherfucker that could draw really, really good, sit like in the third seat from the right. The next semester, another motherfucker that could draw really good. It could be a white, they could be different races, different genders, or whatever. The motherfucker that could draw really good is gonna sit in that spot in the room.
Right.
You know what I'm
Perspective
saying?
of understanding. Exactly. That's the.
Let the man
they know
talk,
it.
man.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you talk about actual like zodiac sign, because it's deeper than just your sun sign, it's your ascendant, what time of day, like all of that stuff that goes into it. But it's like you really can like map that shit out, and the way with people too. People of certain niggas don't want to believe it, but people of certain signs do act certain ways. And people with their moon in certain signs act a certain way, and that's going all through all the planets or whatever.
Cool. We don't want to
So-
spend too much time on astrology, but I'll let you land though, for sure.
Okay, well, so really, I guess where I really wanted to go was, you know, as far as with the Gnosticism aspect, right? It seems like Gnosticism should be the most respected thing because it's like you're taking a responsibility. You're saying, I'm willing to basically know God in and through myself, not what nobody else said. This is my own personal relationship with God, you know? And people get offended by that. And let's say, because you know, I'm on the magical tip or whatever like that, you'll listen to these people, right? They could be Christian, they could be whatever, and they'll be like, oh, you know, the power of the devil is there. You know, people, they'll be haunting you in your dreams and putting curses on you and using cyclomancy and all this other kind of stuff on you. And the way I look at it is like, well, damn, if you say you a child of the Most High, you a Christian, nigga, what you got in your toolbox?
Bro,
Yeah, no
all
fear.
it
That's a
is
good
difference
point. Yeah,
between
no
knowing
fear.
and believing.
No matter what.
When you are,
Hey,
if you
I
say
gotta-
you're a Gnostic, you want to know stuff. different between
And I
religion
got
that make you believe stuff. That's
We
all it
talking about
is.
the afterlife, and don't
That's
nobody
it.
really
Ain't
know
nothing
about it.
different.
So what we talking about is belief. So yeah,
Hey,
that's all it is.
I gotta say something. I gotta say something though, man. Cyclomancy is an awesome book. That's a great book. You
Well,
need
that's
to get
Yeah,
that
we'll
one.
yeah.
we'll check it out. We'll check it out.
That's
Let
I'm
what
me
gonna
I'm
look that
saying.
up for
It's
sure.
like
let me ask you a
Let's stay
question.
on point. Let's stay on point.
Let me.
It's just different methods, you know, to tap into the universal
I
energy.
agree with you, brother. I just want
Yeah.
to push my show forward at this point. I'll let y'all speak and
I
then salute
apologize.
to
I
y'all.
just wanted to get
It's all good. We got you. Yeah, we even got the book shout
Go
out
ahead.
as well. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
Back
as
on mute.
because the whole point of the show, I really want people to take away from the like. I get a lot of flack from people who say my interpretation of Christ and this Bible is wrong, and they should just say it's not popular. Theirs is the wrong interpretation because they got the literal interpretation. They believe in talking snakes, talking animals, etc. I want to get back on this subject and stay on it, man, because that's what the show is about. But what I was saying earlier about Santa and God, that's a good teaching moment for Christians too, because your concept of God is just the adult version of Santa. They was training you for God when they gave you Santa. And that's what I'm telling you. Santa is the fucking training program to get you ready for God. That's what I was trying to explain. But I'm gonna read the rest of this comment right here. It says that and people love to say that the Holy Spirit told them to reach out to me. Y'all get that a lot, chat room? You know, and the Holy Spirit just told me to reach out to you. Like, the
Yes.
Holy Spirit never tell you to reach out to Monsanto or Henry Kissinger. Like, the Holy Spirit told you to skip over the Rockefeller family and come reach out to little old Sanchez that's teaching folks the real truth about this shit. That's crazy.
That's a true Christian right
They
there,
think
Sanchez.
they think it sounds
crazy.
good. That's why.
That's crazy, man. That Holy Spirit is something, ain't it? And it says, man, I pray for you, Sanchez. And you know, when a Christian say I pray for you, it's really it's condescending. It's condescending.
It is.
You know what? I'm gonna pray for you, my brother. You
Yep.
know, and
Or blessings.
yeah, you know, I'm gonna pray for you. Like, you're gonna go in a little closet and talk about me to your invisible friend, and you think that something gonna change about me because of that. If it does, then you should pray for the whole world and make everyone rich as hell and do what, you know. You want to pray for me because we disagreed about something, but you don't want to pray for me for shit else, right? You didn't ask me about my health, nothing. You just,
That part.
you feel me? That be the thing that let you know these people are fake, phony.
Yeah.
You know,
They just want that. They want that last word.
All you gotta do is listen to him, like you say. It's the new chocolate colored Christianity. Because, like my brother just said earlier, he was like, "Yeah, Gnosticism," and then say, "Because I got my own personal relationship." Like, you can't say Gnosticism and then your own personal relationship with God in the same sentence. That don't make no sense.
Now watch
You know
this.
what
He
I'm saying?
say, I pray for you, bro Sanchez. I pray you become a son of light of God the Father, and that you receive the effectual call from the Holy Spirit, and you
What?
become a chosen instrument of Jesus Christ. In Jesus' name I pray. Now watch this, right?
Crazy.
Here's what's crazy, right? You want me to become a chosen instrument of Jesus Christ, but remember, all actions is already written out from beginning to end. It's written out for me to, if it's written out for the people in power to go start war, create wars, poverty, all that, y'all say God wrote that out. That's part of God's will manifested. They will point out to these people dropping bombs and say, yep, God is, coming back. This is prophecy. Why don't they look at what I'm doing and say, see, that's just God. That's prophecy. Sanchez is reminding me prophecy manifesting, right? Why can't I be carrying out God's will? And if you think that I'm carrying out God's will, you don't got to pray for me to God, because God know what the hell I'm doing. God wrote that I'm gonna be deceiving people with my teachings, because he wrote that for the
Nah, man.
Antichrist. Right? If they think I'm deceiving people, I'm following
Man,
prophecy, just like the Antichrist. So, like,
man, you
don't
one of
print.
them YouTube sinners.
But think about how silly it is. It show you they don't really follow their own book, because if you think that the people in power are carrying out the will of God and they doing way worse than me, how come I can't be carrying out God's will too? Because they said God uses evil for good. That's what I'm telling you. I have arguments with these folks where they will say, yeah, the people in power, it's just signs of the times and prophecy. That's a way of sanctioning their actions by God. Why
That's a
won't they?
cop out too.
But why can't I get that cop out? Why can't you sanction my actions by God? Is what I'm saying. I'm doing in their eyes.
No,
If I'm doing evil, then can't my shit be sanctioned like the people in power who doing evil and it's the will of God? That's my point with the
that
hypocrisy.
give you too much power.
You see?
Question, Sanchez. Was there a concept of God in Gnosticism?
What?
As no, that was. Let me answer that with some pictures, so we can be thorough. Good. Was there a concept of God in Gnosticism? So check this out. I already got the image open. Here it is, right here. There was a concept in Gnosticism of God, but the God of Gnosticism didn't mean the same thing. Like everything that exists in the regular shit exists in Gnosticism, but it's the literal versus the spiritual interpretation. That's the only difference. And I'll give you an example. On the left, it's the literal interpretation. A person will look at this and they will see God the Father hovering in the heavens, right? You see this?
Yes.
But the Gnostic would explain to them that when Leonardo da Vinci painted that, Leonardo da Vinci gave us Vitruvian Man. So he wasn't no Christian with the literal interpretation. He knew about the simulation. But this shows you Leonardo da Vinci knew that God was being personified as the mind seated in the pineal gland in the brain. That's why he made this shape like a brain. But see, a Christian won't even see that's shaped like a brain. They will just see God in the heavens with the Elohim. But the Elohim is the different God's avatars. Just like we got different parallel versions of ourselves in other realities. But this was just Leonardo's way of showing this as well. People have misinterpreted this stuff, made it literally. But the thing is, in our land here, does God exist in Gnosticism? Yeah, but it ain't really G-O-D. It's more like guide. It's like the inner guide, the voice within you, that you need. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask a question, Sanchez, about Santa? Because the way that you were explaining him or it was basically kind of like a magnetic field coming from the top of your head and going back down in a dipole fashion.
Yep.
And so that would basically just be your aura field or your golden lights.
Yep,
and so, so Santa being in control would basically being you basically giving gifts to the world through your actions, which is reflected through your aura.
There we
Did you
go.
say that right? Or
hey man,
Yeah,
I've
I like
actually
it. I like it.
I've actually told this same story myself right here, where when you look at the energy field around man, that's the bag that Santa is holding on his back over his shoulder. Here's what it is right here. And the reason it's called Santa, because where is the human at? In the center of the field. It's Santa, right here. So if you look at this, Santa got a bag full of gifts. Because once we empty out the gifts of the spirit onto the earth, we all holding a piece of the puzzle to help create heaven here. You know what I'm saying? We already came here. We can give our lower side or our higher side. If most people here consent to give, because the thing about this God called Santa, he can open up his bag and he can give you a gift or a curse. If you go read the original stories of Santa, you get the gift if you good and the bad when you get a curse. But it's basically they flip the story, because what they're saying is that everyone got an energy field. Your energy field can be negative or positive. The universe ain't gonna make that choice for you. You can give off bad energy or good energy. If every human on earth agree to give off this bad, gloomy energy, we will manifest hell on earth. It's a voting system. It ain't about nothing coming out of our mouth. It's about the literal energy we giving off, and we can't hide that. That's the truth. And if most of the energy, if most of the humans vibrate on a certain level, then guess what? We create a certain reality. We lock in and we maintain this certain state of being as a collective here.
Yeah, that's the pendulum theory, when you have enough thoughts that are going the same way, then the very strength of that group of thoughts creates a pendulum.
Yeah.
And then that pulls people in to where they think along, political lines or religious lines, whatever, but they don't know that they're being pulled in by the strength of all of the thought forms that came previous to them.
Yeah, that's facts.
What
the pendulum theory.
Is
another
consent.
great book.
It's consent. Like you're consenting to something, and specifically you're consenting to sell your soul for material gain. That's what it's prepping you for. But what Bro Sanchez is saying is right, is really prepping you to do good because I'm getting a present. Do good because I'm getting money. It's an incentive to do good versus I want to do good because it's right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's teaching you to dabble in your ego. The thing that want the presence. The thing that has the many faces. The false you. And so you got to believe in the false gods to practice this. This is a practice, and when you practice it, you giving consent. Just like how they telling you like it's gonna be like a water crisis, but only thing is gonna save you is you buying this thing. Is you giving consent. Like I'm buying the fact that water is a currency. And while all of us collectively agreeing that we gotta play that game. You know what I'm saying? It's tribes where they don't mess with them because they don't buy into this shit.
You know what's crazy about that incentive thing, man? A child will be good if he know he gonna get a toy. But that don't mean that child is good. The child is just being good at the moment. And that's what I was saying about like the incentive really fuck it up, because Christians will tell you like, if I didn't have Jesus, I would do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? That mean that's who you really are. You ain't really a good person. You just trying to get your gift. If you wasn't nothing for you to get, you would kill me. That means your heart really ain't changed then. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying. Right. Like, yeah, it's
good. Don't
false.
get you into heaven according to the Bible, though. So y'all wrong about that.
Well, I ain't even speaking, trying to debate the Bible. I'm speaking everything ain't what when we talk ain't based upon the Bible.
God and Jesus, though.
Because I'm talking, bro. Everything ain't me trying to combat the Bible. I'm trying to decode the Bible. I'm combating the false interpretation of church doctrine and church bibliology and theology. So that's why I say Christians do this versus
that was
saying,
a false interpretation.
Well, I'm telling you, Christians I've met, brother, you keep cutting people off, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to speak, man. But like I was saying, right, if I challenge the Bible, I'll say the Bible said. When I'm talking about stuff Christians do, I'm just going to say Christians do this, which is what I was just saying before he interrupted and shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so some people that you met do that, but that's not what Scripture says. So it's
ain't debating. That's why I'm not debating Scripture. I'm debating them. Okay. And it's proven that not all Christians. And it's proven that not all Christians follow Scripture. I'm cutting you off because I'm trying to push the show forward. It's always a confusion when you get the mic because you ain't paying attention. And when everybody else get the mic, it's just coming in and out like volleyball with good interactions and something to contribute to the show. It's always, let's clear some up again for this dummy that he's not hearing. Because when you come up in the spirit of combatment and not the spirit of like, you don't, Christ don't act like them. That's why I told you he's a barbarian. The barbarians can't go nowhere and get along with people, y'all. They disruptive and they always want to take control. He think he's exercising the spirit of Christ, but that's what I'm exercising, and I'm exercising too much of motherfucking patience for real, for real. But I will tell you this. He's coming in the spirit of the buccaneer, the pirate. They ain't coming around to contribute. They coming to take, and they coming to be disruptive and be agents of chaos and confusion. You got to keep explaining shit to the barbarian, but the barbarian know what the hell going on. That's just like the barbarian will say, play dumb about the barbarian or play dumb about reparations, knowing what it is, but just for confusion's sake, just so we can get off the good energy and get into some confusion where you got to clear some up and explain some shit. And I'll tell the barbarian, hey man, I'm not explaining none of you. You can just be done by yourself. Let me holler at this brother over here. He get me. You feel me? You isolate the barbarian. Let him play dumb by himself. You know?
Yeah. I don't think he can get it because like when you had that slide up about the brain with the light in the middle and the Christian side, it's like the concepts of God is kind of confusing, because you know how in the Bible Belt the concept of God was a man on the throne coming to save, gonna send somebody to save us one day, and that's what's throwing everything off on his side over there. He can't get it because he's still with that
the literal interpretation.
The literal, there you go.
That's it. Yep.
And he's
serious,
with the see, because his version of God is this white man on the left in the clouds, and mine is the seat of my soul within me, the kingdom of heaven. If Jesus told me the kingdom of heaven is
that's
within,
why you're against it now, because you was taught the white man,
bro,
Jesus.
Yeah, brother. You see, Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within, and if God resides in heaven, God is in me. And guess what? All I'm saying is if God is in me, I'm God, because the spirit that dwells in me is my spirit, and yours is yours. All of
the
us,
universe, man, you're not God.
All of us have. That's like a person saying, "I'm not my parents. I'm not my mom and dad." And check this out, right? If I take a cup of water and scoop it up from the ocean, that's water, whether you like it or not. You can't look at that cup of water and say you're not water, bro. Just because it's separated from the ocean, it's still, you can take that water anywhere, it's still gonna be water. Each one of us humans is a drip from the ocean. And Jesus said, ye are gods. I'm not gonna listen what me myself say, but y'all can go ahead.
That's not saying you are God. That's not what that says. Yeah, you gotta
read the literal again, literal interpretation.
Relax.
We're gonna let him wait on that without God. Without God, that's coming with 10,000.
Sanchez tried, but
don't
when you
just be
actually read
taught.
for
Just
yourself, it
listen.
don't make no sense. Yeah, so
Handle
when
your
you
business,
actually read
man.
for
Don't talk
yourself,
about what
stop
you
barking, little
feel.
pom
Don't
pom.
talk about your
Shut up,
feelings.
little Pomeranian. You not on Sanchez.
Don't talk about your feelings.
Let me
Talking about
these
actual information.
barbarians.
Shut your pet up. Yeah,
Hey, let's switch speeds right quick,
man.
man.
Redden up.
What's up, sir? Drop, how you doing, man?
What's up, Drop?
How you doing?
Cooling out, man.
Salutes to the
All right,
brother,
now
Drop,
we
man.
all know it's a multi-creator, right? And we've been going back and
Sanchez
forth
think
on
he is
different.
that.
Can we
Hey, bro, quit trolling, man.
We all are, not
Yeah,
just me. Every last thing with a soul within them, every sentient being. You've been here since there is no beginning to the soul within you. You are God, which is infinite energy. Go ahead, Drop. You
Big
good.
fact. Now we've been going back and forth. Hey, me myself, can you quit trolling, man? Let's get this out. All right, now look. Now the question I want to ask, since we know it's a multi-creator, I'm gonna give my answer first. The creation is the creator. Now, what would you tell a heathen? How could you prove that there's a multi-creator?
To a heathen?
Is the question. Or to anybody. If they said like my man was saying, tell your God to reveal itself. Hey, chill out me myself.
All right, my bad.
Go ahead, Drop.
Go ahead.
What happened to them? Drop must have fell off the call.
Yeah, that's God. Y'all got it.
God
See?
over here making
Ridiculous.
niggas.
Ridiculous.
So listen.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
God over here making niggas phone mess up, but he ain't stopping
What
families
he's
in the
Nah,
doing,
world.
bro?
man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nah, that was Santa Claus.
I
And
was
they
about to
say
say, yeah,
shit
that's
like
Prematurely.
Satan and
that.
Santa Claus according to
That's
Sanchez.
how these barbarians be. You could be walking down the street after you argue with me, myself, and slip
Yo,
up
that's
and
funny. Yeah, you're
fall.
right. That's
And
Santa
you
Claus, not
slip
God.
up and fall, and he gonna say, "Won't he do it?" Like God just made me fall, but God can't make the people in power fall, and
Why
they
y'all so
wicked. Right?
mad? It's gonna be all right. Y'all go ahead and
All
take
right,
it to drop.
cool.
Here
Well,
you
I'm
go.
gonna get
Nah,
my
well, I'm
answer right
entertained.
quick.
Go ahead.
There
All
you
right,
go.
cool. I'm gonna get my answer because y'all ain't even listen to the question. All right, now how I look at the creator, right? I look at it as what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? It's synonymous. It
I
makes
ain't
each
even hear
other.
his
So
question.
the creation makes the creator as the creator making the creation, right? But
He been
like
learning,
bro
ain't he?
just told y'all, yeah, bro just told y'all there's no point at a start. So this has been going on forever. Once you understand forever and infinite, then you'll understand, oh, there's no Big Bang Theory. There's no start to let there be light. This shit always been forever. So once you understand in your mind that there's no start and there's no end, then you'll start understanding
And
what,
and, and,
you
and
know,
what
scholars.
and you know what, Drop? This is how you make people understand it, Drop. You gotta ask them,
What does
do
that mean?
God damn it, bro, this dude here, man, like a kid. You got it start to be like a kid. But check this out, man. Drop, this a good point because I think people can start seeing it by asking them like, do you think you had an existence before you was a human? If a person say yeah, they gotta ask, what were you before you were human? They would probably say, look, I was just a being of light or a soul or something. If you know that there's a part of you that predate your human existence and gonna live after your human existence is over, that's the part of you we talking about. And it's not mortal. So it don't get old, it don't age, right? And that's when I say that we're gods, that part of us is the direct force that people once defined as God or the infinite energy in the universe. And people looked at man like I said, if you think of God ain't even a person. God ain't nothing but pure infinite energy that exists. And each person is like a cup that scoops up some of that energy and carves out them. Each one of us is a version of God. It'll be like I got 100 fish aquariums in my house, and each aquarium got a different ecosystem, different kind of fish, the water different. And each human is like the same thing, how like all of this shit is a water environment, which the water is universal like God, but it can be expressed in different ways to create different life forms. Shit like that. Like God was never an entity that was outside of man. God was simply the infinite energy that allowed for man's very existence, which means that man and God are inseparable. Because if there's a force within me that is infinite, that cannot die, and that always was and always will be, that's literally the definition of this thing that they defined as God. It's not that deep. We're just
Question, Sanchez.
again,
Can I
it's
ask you a
just
question
literal.
real quick? Like, how do you know that happens after you die?
How do I know what? Okay, let me answer that. It's a
Yeah.
law called the law of polarity. Okay, I'm gonna answer if you let me.
I didn't say nothing. That was somebody else. No, go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. So look, the law of polarity means if I can go forward, I can go backwards. If I can go up, I can go down. Right. So if I can prove there's a here before, I can prove there's a hereafter. Meaning, I wasn't always a human. I existed prior to my human existence. And that mean that what we call death is just transformation, because when I was a sperm cell, I died. And when the sperm died, the human resurrected. And when the human died, some else greater gonna resurrect. Death is just infinite transformation. You know why? Energy can't cease to exist. It can only transform. That's a law of the universe. So check
Nuclear
this out.
dynamics. For sure, you're right.
So if my body is the manifested energy of my soul, then my body is nothing but the result of my soul transforming through its journey through manifestations through the universe, through what we call series of life and death reincarnations, which what makes it not life and death, it just means transformations. Because you ain't dying, you just living on and on and on and on, becoming something greater, like a caterpillar being a butterfly, then going to some higher. So I know that I will be something greater than what I am after I breathe my last breath. It's like asking a caterpillar, how you know when you spin that cocoon and go inside of there that you're gonna wake up and it's gonna be life after that. The caterpillar know I'm gonna wake up from my sleep and I'm gonna be a butterfly and I'm gonna bust out this goddamn cocoon. And that's what I know as a caterpillar in this little energy field right here. Because the human is the caterpillar version of the soul. And what's gonna bust out of this energy bubble ain't gonna be a caterpillar, it's gonna be something with wings.
Yep. And I was just saying, like, because like scripture says the same thing. It tells you about faith, right? The evidence of the things not seen. I know
what scripture
That's what we're
said.
talking. Okay, no, I'm just saying, like in general, just let me finish real quick. In Hebrews 11, 11:1, right? The first verse tells you about the definition of faith, right? It's the evidence of the things unseen, and how hope is an actual substance. No, listen to what I'm saying. Don't.
No, I'm listening, bro. I'm listening.
I hear you listening, but like what I'm saying is hope is a substance, though, just like imagination. Just like science says that, what is it? I think it's the fourth law of thermonuclear dynamics.
What's the purpose of it? Can you tell me the purpose of it?
Hey, man, I ain't even got to the first whole minute yet. The purpose of what I'm saying is, hey, simmer down, Pom. What I'm saying is,
I don't know why you can't. You know how I be talking, y'all, and I allow y'all to ask questions. I stop and explain. He don't let me do that. I just ask him, can he explain and tell, instead of wasting your time telling me what hope is? I was just asking
about to explain it.
Damn, brother. I was just finna ask you to tell me the purpose. You don't gotta make it
the purpose of hope.
Yeah. The purpose
of that's a whole thesis paper. But what I'm saying is that these things we think of is an actual tangible substance like imagination. I was literally explaining it to you while you interrupted. Yeah, I know. But it's a tangible substance. But until science writes a journal, y'all don't believe it. Just like the law of thermonuclear dynamics, which you described, which is why you have that.
If some tangible, you don't gotta believe it though.
That's a thesis paper.
You know that the afterlife is what you said because of science, and so science.
It ain't about science. It's about what
I
am.
You just said that though.
I didn't say that. I didn't even use the word science, bro. You lying on me. He ain't listening to what I said. And then guess what? He's so damn combative and negative. He don't even know how to have a conversation. Any one of y'all can cut in and ask me to explain myself, and I will be happy to. I get a kick out of that because I don't got nothing to hide or defend. I just don't like dude's energy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm letting him on because, again, for teaching purposes, to show you how barbarians act with their literal interpretation. He keep telling us what the Bible said versus what his God-given mind think. The Bible didn't always exist. And I wonder what would people do if the Bible didn't exist. Would they think, like, goddamn it, you telling me what King James and the Roman scribes canonized and you won't go outside of that box, bro. And if you won't do that, you will never be able to see what we see. You're out of place here. For real, for real.
The purpose of faith is to find the truth. That's all the purpose of faith or belief is to find the truth.
And how are you going to explain to me, right, my bad, about faith and all that shit? And I ask a simple question because, bro, I'm from the Bible Belt. You ain't got to tell me where faith is. I know what the fuck it is. Let's fast forward, get to the fun part. Tell me the purpose of it. And guess why I asked him that? Because I knew he can't answer it. Ain't no purpose. It's pointless. That made him mad. He saw how
it's a thesis.
It's to find the truth.
He said it's a thesis paper.
Like, because guess what, Retton? If a nigga asks me right now,
he write a thesis on his phone.
If a nigga asks me right now, right, what's the purpose of knowledge? Come on, bro. I can spit that out easy, man. I'll be here all
Facts.
day too. But I'm asking you, what's the purpose of faith? And if it, bro, you can't
No,
tell
it's a
me,
thesis
right?
paper. Oh, that's a whole thesis paper right there. We ain't got to talk about that. How you mean we ain't got to talk about that?
Hey
And
man,
you
I
gonna
know what
throw
the
it off
purpose
by
of
saying it's
faith
a
is.
thesis paper?
Because guess what?
Go ahead.
Because guess what the purpose of faith was from the beginning? Because he don't realize faith was created when the liars started indoctrinating us. Because guess what? When a person giving you the truth, they don't need you to have faith in them, or they don't need you to believe them. They'll tell you, fuck your faith, and I don't want you to believe me. Prove me wrong that 2 + 2 ain't 4. I dare you.
There
See,
you go.
a person speaking the truth don't want your faith or your belief. They want you to prove them wrong. Prove me wrong. Now, a person who know that they lying to you, guess what they gonna say? Man, you don't believe your boy? Come on, so you don't believe me? You don't got faith in me? They're gonna be dying for your belief and faith. See, belief and faith and all that is something that is valuable when you dealing with liars. That shit don't mean nothing to me because I'm giving you the truth. I don't need you to believe what the fuck I'm saying or have faith in it.
That's why you
It's
know
a
the
it's a
dagger when you
it's a
ask him, what's the purpose? You saying
it's
all
a
this stuff. Okay,
beginning
let's go straight to the point.
mechanism.
What's the purpose of that? Oh, that's a
Right.
whole thesis paper. Like,
It's
what
a
do you
It's
mean?
a
substitute for
beginning
the truth
You
mechanism.
for the
deflecting.
liar.
Why are you
Yeah.
deflecting?
It's
The liar needs
the
your belief and faith bad. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yep.
but it's a beginning mechanism. It's like something that only is supposed to be a process. Like because you are at a point where you don't know everything. So certain things you kind of speculate that it's this, but you don't know. So it requires you to believe. But you're supposed to prove your belief and into a truth. You're not supposed to stay stuck in a belief. You're supposed to go into and evaluate the belief until it's the truth. It's supposed to lead
But
you to
see,
the truth.
the word belief didn't always exist. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question. If you didn't know something, what did you do? Want me to answer that for y'all? Because this was before the word belief existed. Guess what? If you didn't know something, you just didn't know it. You didn't believe a damn thing. Let me tell you how the ancient people lived. The ancient people said you either know some shit or you don't. That's it. Ain't that simple? Come on now, man. It don't get no
Yeah,
simpler than
yeah.
that. Think about this, right?
I get what you're saying.
But hold on. You got to let me finish what I'm saying, brother. Check this out. And what I mean by this is this right here. You really don't need belief. Now, a person may say, well, you got to believe if there's gold under the ground, shouldn't you believe it's there till you can know it? You shouldn't, because that's going to taint your research. When you go into research, you don't want to believe it's yay or nay. You go in with an open mind and a clear mind, just willing to accept whatever the results come back and say. Because if I go in saying I believe one thing and the results debunk me, I'm now emotionally invested to protect my belief. And that's why people be cheating experiments. They'll fucking do all kind of hit pieces. They forge science and forge research to fit their beliefs and not reality. Because guess what? You should have never went into the lab with a belief. Because when you do that, you're going to try to bend reality to fit your damn belief, versus just going in there like the ancients saying, you know, we curious about this and we don't know, but we gonna figure it out. See that's simple. That ain't saying, well, we going in there and we believe it's aliens up there. Guess what? You gonna find aliens every time, because aliens is now a religion. And you got to find them, because you gonna disappoint people. They want you to find aliens now.
I get what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. It's just a belief that's not supported by some type of factual evidence is really a dead belief. Like, really, like a belief it could be considered like a theory. Like I don't quite know, but I'm in between like investigation.
I'm with
so
you.
That's what a belief is. But it's wrong to stay stuck in a belief. You should want to find the truth out of what you assume
there
to
you
be.
go. It's because turning your belief into like a conclusion or a fact, and now you can't prove it. So when you can't prove it, people won't accept Because the thing about this, humans naturally accept ideas that has proof. But if your idea you trying to put on me ain't got proof, how do you make me accept it? Now you gotta force it on me, and that's what religion did through conquest.
Facts.
And
So
they
a lot of
justify
people,
that too. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, facts. So a lot of people is going off dead belief, meaning like a belief that is not supported by no type of evidence.
None at all. And they given that belief, and they told them that's the way it's supposed to be. This thing here doesn't require. Think about a liar, right? A liar that so good at lying, they telling the person they lying to, out of everything in the world, this one thing don't require proof or knowledge. It requires faith and belief, which is for you to suspend your own thinking. Don't try to prove this shit. Just accept what I'm saying and have faith and belief. That's what religion doing. Now, they don't have no proof for what they giving you. So the next best thing is to just sell belief as the righteous way. It's a form of reverse psychology. It's saying, well, if I give you proof, you ain't gonna trust God. It's showing how much you trust God that I don't got the proof.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this, right?
Yeah.
If your wife trying to convince you she not cheating, for example, and she cheating, and she knows she ain't got no proof to prove her innocence or whatever, and she, instead of showing you proof or whatever, right, she just say, you don't trust me, why you gotta look through my phone? No, let me see your phone. You should trust me. You should have faith in me. Now the argument is her getting mad about you not trusting her when really, what you got to hide? You know, that kind of situation to where that's what the religion institution has done. They've made it to where, oh, if I ask to see the phone, she gonna think I don't trust her. So that's how God got them in that relationship to where if you ask your God for proof, now my God mad and you know he see I don't trust him.
Yeah. And
it's fucked
anybody
up.
telling you to do that is setting you up. It's in their best interest. That's like, you know, that's the best scenario for anybody setting you up, is for you. No, just believe that I'm gonna pay you this money or give you this for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta verify things, and you should want to verify your soul. Why wouldn't you want to verify your spirit, your essence? It's crazy talk.
You know what's funny about this shit, bro? It remind me of niggas say, bro, I'm gonna pay you when I get paid. And I'd be like, you got a job? I didn't know you had a job. Hold up, bro. I'll give you the money right now if you prove to me you got a job. And they can't show you proof they got a job. And so the nigga be like, oh, so nigga, so you don't believe me, nigga? So what you trying to say? I'm a fucking liar? Oh, bro, you insulted me. Flip it on you. And the Christians let that shit work on them, but they wouldn't let a nigga play them like that in them streets. But they let the fucking Roman Catholic Church get them with that same trick. Oh, I got to show you proof? Oh, so you don't trust God, so you need proof, huh? Even though the Bible say prove all things.
It's another platform they use the have faith and belief, man. In the sports world, they use that shit, you know, real big too, man. You have faith in your team and you believe in your team and they lose and shit, they let your ass down. You know, faith and belief will let your ass down too. Get your ass hurt.
Yeah. But the thing is that the parasite has to trick. It has to trick you. So it tricks you and you choose something through your ignorance, and it's counting on you to choose ignorantly. And through conditioning and stimulation and all of it's like it's drugging you and feeding you crap so you can, you know, choose something ignorantly. So everything that's happened, we choosing, you know, the masses. What's gonna happen is like a big collection. That's what Revelations is all. It's just leading us to a point where, you know, ignorance is at an all-time high, and it's going to be a big collection, and it's just like this thing emerges like a vampire in a season, and this is the season for that. And you know, it goes back in its tomb after that because it has to fool. It's part of the foolery. It has to lead humanity to a such a point of ignorance that it just swallows up a bunch of souls. And so that's what we're going through. But it's a bunch of souls that's going to awaken in the same essence.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about this sleight of hand trick that the enemy do, he flips it because well, you got to see where the transition take place with sleight of hand. It goes from their lack of proof to your lack of trust. That's how they do it every time. That's how liars do it. I'm telling y'all, man. That's how liars do it, bro. They want to make, because they know they got a problem not having no proof. And you reasonably asking them for proof. But if they will flip that shit and make it like, no, it's you who don't got no trust. Now we got to have and that's exactly what the Bible does. And people need to know how they being played like that, man. Like, shout out
but
to.
they like being played though.
Yeah,
they love being played. You know, that's the ego. That's the trick of the ego. You know, they fall in love with that shit. It's like Stockholm syndrome, but it's on a spiritual level, man. You can't prove nothing that's real to somebody who loves what's fake. You can't prove nothing that's real. They love the fake.
Right.
And the money mean more to them. The money mean more to them and the material things, because they'll verify that, but they won't verify where they place their soul. So the essence means nothing to them. This is why they're programmed, because they'll verify things with money and material, but they won't verify where they place their soul. They'll place their soul in these religions and these false
Jesus Christ
gods,
teaching in the Bible.
and,
Yeah, that sounds like straight out the Bible.
and won't verify their soul, where they place their soul.
Yep.
I want to give a big shout out to Awakening Minds, Dreezy Dre. Shout out to you, bro. He said, faith is weight, just bait for chaos when truth is knowing. Salutes to the bro. Shout out to Rain D44. Said, absolute legend in the space. Thank you, bro. Hey, and thank the people on the panel too, man. These guys here, they you know, having a very deep build, and I'm learning from them
for sure.
well.
We're going to amp this ish up all day, every day.
Ignorance is bliss.
It'll be weird just listening to y'all agree all the, you know, for 2 hours straight.
Well, I'll say this, right?
I
don't. The thing about people agreeing, ain't nothing wrong with energy being in unison and harmony if it's natural. But what I don't like is forced disagreement just for the sake of breaking up the unity.
Different person's opinion.
What I'll say is this: if a person got a legitimate pushback, hell yeah, let's do it. Those are the fun ones.
That's all I bring. That's all me myself bring.
Right. Cool. Thank you, man.
I got pushback, Bro Sanchez for
real clear.
Can he let us play first?
How can you have faith
in his lap dog
and beliefs and have the truth at the same time?
You can't. You either got belief or you got the truth. You either got knowledge and truth or belief and faith. Because you accept knowledge with evidence, proof, and all that. You accept belief with just faith and tradition and, you know, fear, basically.
Faith is evidence, though, so that's
you can also
like it's literally
you can also be right when you believe something, but you just don't know it.
True.
So like you could believe, like, you know, but you can be right, but if you don't know it, it can't be your truth. It's just your belief.
Yeah.
But y'all also gotta understand there's so much stuff. You also gotta understand there's so much stuff in the world that can't be explained. So we can't just exit out belief. We just can't put a lot of
What Drop, here's what I say, man. Here's what I say, Drop. When we say there's a lot of stuff in the world that can't be explained, you got to follow that with by me. For every human that can't explain something, there's a human that can. There's somebody out of these billions of earth. For your deepest mystery, you better believe it's probably some tribe in the jungle that can explain it, some shaman in the mountain that know the secrets of that shit, some oracle over here, or just a nigga down the street from you that can tell you about it. I don't think we can say what can't be explained when you consider how many billions of minds on this earth and shit like that. I think seek the knowledge and ye shall find it with all things, me
Facts.
personally.
Yeah,
And
Absolutely. If you
sometimes
really want to
too,
know,
man.
you're gonna
ain't,
find out for sure.
So the
anything you
concept.
put your mind to, imagination to, and you meditate on, it will be revealed to you. But be careful what you do, because certain things to be revealed to you, you gotta go through certain lessons before you learn this lesson. You feel me?
Man,
There's sequence
yep.
and laws behind that, and learning certain things that you asking to learn. So you might be in this level and you asking to jump to this level. It's gonna take something drastic, and you don't want to do that if you really know. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be prepared for that next stage. Yeah, the next level.
Hey, I want to show my Cash
It's
App
like
people
Master Killer
some
when he went
love.
through the when he went to Shaolin and had him carrying water and all that shit.
36 chambers.
Yeah, I wanted to show my people
6.
some love, man. Robert Robinson, appreciate you, man. Troy Hendricks, Karen, Atiba, appreciate y'all on the Cash App. That's love. Appreciate y'all. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, you good, fam. I just love this shit. But yeah, bro. Back to what I was talking about the original tree god. When you pulled up the dude, right? That's what I pulled up, right? He's literally in a Taurus field, just to bring it back to some real esoteric type of knowledge, right? The reason I looked up book is because I read the book of books all the time, right? I'm going back through it and reading it within a year because it tells you how to read it through it in a whole year. But I was like, where did the word book come from? Then found out it came from tree, birch tree, oak, but specifically oak, pine, and birch. And that's where we get the word book from. But the tree gods are some of the oldest, because of how strong they are. So when I do that synchronicity and I connect those dots about why we have reverence for certain physical things in our reality, it makes sense why we will call Yahweh the storm god, et cetera, right? Or why they say he was referred to that. But he's literally called the father of light. And when you think about the holy grail or the projection that we're in the simulation, literally whatever created the light that's projecting our reality we call physicality, right? That's something before the light was originated. There's something before the light, and that's also written, which is it should blow people's mind that all of that's written. What we're discovering today in quantum physics, in quantum entanglement theory, and when they did the whole quantum entangled photons, and it ended up looking like an actual yin yang sign, right? When they did the whole AI reverse engineered with the tech, right? And it ended up looking exactly like a yin yang. How did they know that back then? Because it's all technical knowledge, what we call technology. It's just
Well,
and we've always known it. Yeah,
I'm showing you how they know it, man, because they were advanced, and the people who gave you the Bible lied about the ancestors, and they didn't want you to know how advanced they were. They were into the study of the consciousness, energy, vibration, the spirit realm. The ancients were so into the spirit realm that we only see 1% of reality, but they saw way more than us, and they heard way more than us. They wasn't trapped to 2020 like us. They had heightened senses that we lost, and all type of other stuff. So when you ask these questions, it's because remember.
Oh no, I wasn't asking. No, I know the answer. The Bible literally describes what I'm talking about. It's just that we got it decoded properly. So that's all I'm saying. I didn't ask no question. I was
here's
just telling
what I'm
you
saying.
it's in the Bible.
I got you. In order for you to decode the Bible properly, you can't read it literally, because you can't do both at the same time. If you're gonna decode
but we are both though. I'm gonna stop interrupting. That's my fault. I'm gonna stop. But we are both at the same time, spirit and physical. So
hold on, brother. Listen what I'm telling you. Your body is physical, but what I'm telling you is this: when you equate the literal with the physical, you're wrong. Physicality isn't synonymous with literality. When we talking about literal, we're talking about you interpreting something as literature, as folkloric, because it's like the literal interpretation of this shit literally turns it into literature. It turns it into talking snakes and a whole nother literary reality that's like outside of reality. But the whole thing about spiritual, though, the spirit is real. The spirit, so my thing is my spirit real, but snakes don't talk. So the literal interpretation of the Bible hide the realness of my spirit, which was symbolized by a snake talking, if that make any sense to you. So if you want to teach someone how the ancients taught children about the Kundalini force within man in the form of using the snake as a mascot or a symbol for it, then cool, you would have to do that by decoding the symbol, which is what you said you're doing. Cool, salutes to you for that. But the thing about that, the threat to that would be any kind of literal interpretation. Any kind of literal interpretation would be a threat to the symbolic decoding. Because if you're going to tell a person that the serpent in the garden represents the spiritual force within man, which is what the ancestors was teaching, then we can also make it a red dragon under the grounds, running around terrorizing people.
All right,
shit,
I see what you're saying. All right, now here's, I agree with that. Now here's my point that I'm gonna let y'all have. We are a physical, I am, y'all can see me because I got my camera on. You are too. You are a physical being from spirit, right?
No.
So no, but like we're intertwined. We're both at the same time.
There's no such thing as physicality, brother. My body. I'm trying to answer you.
I'm just using the terminology we use. No,
okay. I'm just letting you know I disagree and no. That's you. Go ahead.
I know you do.
Now that I know it's rhetorical, go ahead. Don't cry. I'm letting you get the flow. I'm letting you get the flow. Go ahead.
My whole point is that we are always physical, because that's how we're communicating. This is just the term. I know you just said this is just the term we use to describe the solidifying of spirit energy. I get it. If I can do that too. I can break it all the way down, but I'm trying to get through this. So we're always we're all I get that, but we're both spirit and physicality, right?
That's what you just said, though.
Let him kill himself.
Just let him land. Let him land.
I want to hear what he has to say.
Yo, this is crazy. This is what I'm saying. Scripture tells you too that don't hold so tight to your physicality.
Just let him land.
Because your spirit energy is the eternal thing that lasts forever. So don't worry so much about what we call physicality. That's what all religions, all faiths tell you. But in scripture, it's real simple and it's standard operating procedure. It's structured like a manual. The basic instructions before you leave Earth, right?
Damn, he stopped for a minute. I thought he was done.
Man, I feel you, bro. No, go ahead. You do what you do, buddy. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Listen, bro. Let me
hold on, man. Let me
do something. Hold on a second, bro. Hold on. Chill, everybody. It's a lot of chaos going on now. We got a lot of crying from me, myself. We got a lot of long-windedness from him, too. Now, he see people are ready to interject and he want to talk about basic instructions, but quote, look, it's just, he's doing this on purpose. He's an agent of chaos. This will be his last time on for a minute. I'm going to suspend him for a minute because all that, the attitude we're getting when he doing the most talking, it's so many people on the call and it's him coming in with the confusion and chaos. He stopped like he was done. Then he immediately, bro, you got to pause when you make a statement. He's talking about the body being physical. The Gnostics didn't teach that the body was physical. They didn't have a concept of physicality. That's all I was telling him. He still got a concept of the physical world, and the Gnostics taught we're in a simulation. How the fuck is your body physical if it's a computer program we're in? He keep trying to act like he's a Gnostic, but he won't allow himself to be corrected. And my thing is this, just quit saying you're a Syncretist and a Gnostic and I'll leave you alone. I'll quit treating you like a student because the teacher in me is gonna hear you like you don't think like a Gnostic. And it's just in me to help you out, man, because I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to get out of that literal interpretation, man. I really am. I'm rooting for the brother. He's still Pastor Porkchop's son, but he over there kicking it with Morpheus and them, and I'm like, bro, come back when you're right, man. Right now, your energy it's just not gelling right. The timing is off. It's cool, it's better without you here, man. And I'm gonna just tell that straight up. I enjoy him sometime, but the night has been rough. We've been clashing too hard. He's been too long-winded. And I'm gonna tell you what it is with me. I'm ready to deliver deep knowledge. And I always gotta wait on him, reteach me biblical shit, repeat shit like basic instructions before leaving Earth. Like the cliche shit, and it's like, oh my fucking God. We got to go all the way back here with this guy. And I like being in the advanced shit. I hate to go back to kindergarten sometime. Like this one of them shows I wanted to be deep. But the thing is this right here with the brother. He keep trying to make it like the Bible is saying the earth, the thing about this simulation, what the Gnostics is saying, is that this shit can be your heaven when you get control over the body. Ain't nobody telling you it's wrong to have sex, it's wrong to enjoy yourself or do all that. We ain't finna bring that papacy shit up in here because the people in power wanted to control population control, and they didn't want people being fruitful and doing all that, so they was giving them doomsday shit. They would tell them, oh, the earth is this. I'm going to tell you the truth about the earth. The earth ain't the real reality. It's a temporary kingdom. It's a simulation. But guess what? It's fun. It can be hella good. It can enjoy it. And the thing about him saying about what all religions telling you that the body is like physical and all that shit. I'm hearing the brother out. I'm being patient with him. But at the same time, he fucking putting on a whole show like pouting and doing all this childish shit because everybody trying to interject soon as you done. I'm not the only one. Brother, relax. And quit trying to be chaotic on purpose. And the thing is this right here too. The reason I say the body ain't physical because there's no such thing as physicality. You've been given that word and it done fuck y'all head up, man. It really have. Like, people will look you in the face and say, Sanchez, I agree with you that we in a simulation. Then they'll turn around and say, what you mean ain't no physicality? Well, goddamn, dummy. If you're in, what did Morpheus try to teach Neo in the Matrix about physicality? He tried to tell him, if you think what you can see, touch, and hear is physical, that's nothing but signals coming from the central nervous system. What you call in physicality is a series of input and output signals because your body is an interface, a computer, allowing your soul to have an existence in a matrix. Neo, quit trying to be deep and quit claiming you're agnostic and you're not. You be thinking some of these niggas is on Trinity ship with the red pill and they like cipher and shit. You like, this nigga ain't woke for real. He's plugged in. He still think that the Matrix is physical, nigga. Well, you said it was a computer program earlier. Like, it's the shit of simulation or not. Don't get mad at me, y'all. Get mad at the fact that I'm making you confront the hypocrisies and contradictions and the shit within yourself that is at conflict with each other. I thought this shit through and other people ain't. The moment I realized that this shit is a simulation, I got rid of my idea of physicality. A lot of folks will subscribe to simulation theory and still hold on to physicality, and I gotta pop they cherry and let them know you not really subscribing to the simulation. You really think you on a ball in space. Yeah, but Sanchez, I'm a flat earther and I teach about the simulation, but I don't agree with you that this ain't physical. Well, guess what, bro? You ain't teaching about the simulation. The whole concept of physicality come from the Big Bang and heliocentrism. Before that, people knew that Earth was a simulation and it was giving off an illusion of physicality. Like, and I'm not trying to debate folks. I'm just trying to give them the knowledge they lack. And I'm being patient. But let me fall back. Being patient.
Hey, Sanchez, I like to go to, after all of that he was talking about, I like to go back to your title, which says the biggest misunderstanding about the two. I have to go with the concept of God. is the biggest misunderstanding. And it's really a big divide on that because they still with the literal version of God when they talking. They still with the literal version.
And you know what the thing about their literal version, the word God is the word God, but it's guiding us to the center of the earth, which is the center of the self. That's why they took the real North Pole off the maps. Because this is what's happening at the North Pole. Look at this collage I'm sharing. This goes back to the Santa conversation. If once we go to talking about the North Pole, we start pointing back inward. When we point, just like if we go to pull up a Mercator map right now, let's pull it up. They had to take this away from the maps because when people knew what was at the North Pole, it was pointing right back into the center of their damn self, man. Look at this right here. This is on the map. Now, this is what's happening in the middle of your brain right here. They had to get rid of this because as within, so without. The guide, the same thing. What did the God of the Bible say? What did the God, all of the gods say the same thing? They say, if you follow me, you will not get lost. But what do people follow when they got a compass and they at sea? They follow the North Pole, right? The North Pole is what we use to not get lost. So this is a literal geographic place on the earth in the middle of the earth. We navigate as if we're on a flat earth, and we use the North Pole only as a central point to get around, as the point of reference. That's facts. Ain't no way around it. And we shoot our asthmas in all the directions that you see these ley lines point toward that black stone. That's facts. Go get a compass. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The same God that's saying, follow me and you won't get lost, is because they was personifying the North Pole, which is the center, Santa, center. And I'm going to be redundant because when you telling the truth, you just going to repeat yourself a lot because the truth ain't going to change. But check this out, right? I got to keep telling this because when we talk about the literal and spiritual, people don't want to let their literal interpretation go, man. Because they scared. They saying, but Sanchez, belief and faith is what's required for my salvation to get to heaven. That's how they fucked them. They trapped them in ignorance with fear, y'all. They put a lock on that shit. They didn't just put them in a locker of fear. They put a lock on that shit called fear. It made them stay in that box by saying, if you try to unlock this box, you gonna be condemned forever. We gonna burn your ass. But think about this, right? That's like a damn liar saying, nigga, if you don't believe me, you gonna have to run a fade. That's a desperate liar right there. That's a liar that's trying to force his lie on you. Think of a nigga in the streets trying to tell you something you don't believe him. And you tell him, prove it to me, dog. And he, proof? You telling me to prove? Oh, I'm insulted. So you feel me? And so now this nigga start telling you that you asking for proof is punishable. You can be punished for that. Like, that's a diehard liar. This liar's so scared of proof. He's saying, nigga, if you ask me for proof, I will burn you forever. That's how big of a lie I'm telling. You know? God damn.
Hey, dig this though. Let me remix your shit right quick. You know how you said the compass, right? And the find the North Pole, and it's within sight, right? If you notice, your heart and earth is like the same letters, right? And your heart is inside. You know how people say follow your heart? You know what I mean? It's the same thing as follow the compass to the North Pole. I just wanted to remix it and shit. I ain't want to steal your shit.
The word heart is the word earth. And that's what I'm saying. People may say, well, the ancients said what? That the earth was in the center of the universe. The centermost part of the universe is the North Pole, but a person may say, but am I walking on the earth right now? No, we are not experiencing earth right now. And a lot of people hear me say that, they think I'm crazy. But again, These will be the same people that'll tell you, Sanchez, I believe we in a simulation. Well, then you don't believe we on Earth. You believe we in an Earth-like simulation. Now we need to get back to Earth. If I'm dreaming, it's, you see what I'm saying? So my thing is I'm in a dream world and Earth is in this. So Earth is the base reality. The truth is that Adam and Eve was in the original Earth, and we left that Earth and fell into like Earth-like simulations. My theory is that the ancients got what we call Earth is so damn old, y'all, that people were so advanced for so long, they already created like Earth-like simulations and different avatars, this future world we waiting to get to. No, it's just the past coming back. But here's my theory that where did the ancients go? History tell us the ancient people got very advanced and overnight they vanished. I believe we got so advanced in the ancient world that we started to build big computer towers and upload our consciousness into them, and that's what the fall of man originally was. We left Earth and they started to reproduce inside of simulations, and here we are now, children born in an Earth-like simulation, right? So I think the ultimate revelation is when we finally awaken, they're gonna say, welcome to Earth, man. And you're gonna realize, damn, I was never on Earth. I was in this outside Earth-like fake world. Like, you know what I'm saying? We been left Earth. We trying to get the whole concept people talk about going to heaven or ascending to the higher realm. It's already a place you was in before. You failed. We going back to our original home, which is Earth. You know, that's technically Earth. Think about it. You can't call this shit Earth if it's a copy of something else. Whatever that original thing is, that would be technically Earth. And the real Earth is in the middle of the universe, and I could show it to you, is at the top of all these realms. Let me pull it up from here right quick. It's and that's why the word Earth is heart when you rearrange it, and its heart is center. Heart means the center of something. So look here. The highest realm is the centralmost realm. You see this? Here's what the Vedics teach right here. Y'all see this right here? Let's pull this one up. It start to get more and more toward the center when you go up. See, when you going out, you going away from the North Pole, you going into the outer realms. If we were to, you can't go to the North Pole in your body. You will reach a ring. That's what these earthly little rings is. This is Saturn, basically, that we're in. And you will reach a barrier before you can even get to that Mount Meru point. It'll be a barrier stopping you from getting into those inner rings. And there would be a barrier stopping you from getting to the outer ones too. Let me show y'all a better version that'll break that down even deeper real quick. Hold on. We trapped in like, here's what the earth is. Now I know this redundant to y'all, but yeah, like I was saying though, like we can't get to the North Pole because we already there, basically. It's like I always say, when you dreaming, you can't go to your bed at where you dreaming at because you in your own head. And this is why the earth shaped like our head. So this is the spiritual interpretation I'm giving y'all, not the literal. And here's the difference, right? The literal interpretation got people looking for Eden right now. And they saying, well, Eden must be in Africa. Where is the tree of life at? Check it out, right? All of these folks looking for the tree of life, but the compass is pointing them to it. All the compasses on the earth is pointing toward the North Pole. Y'all ain't listening. Why the compass is pointing there? That's where Mount Meru at. But we ain't looking where the compass is point. We looking up in space to the heliocentrism, and we want to fly rockets to get off the Earth and go to outer space. You see what I'm saying? So let me quit talking and share the mic, man. Y'all know it's been a while since I've been here, and you know I just got my channel back, and I refuse to let me myself take over the show.
Much respect.
Yeah.
Nah, that's real. Like, I mean, everybody should know that just breathing in and out the nose and the mouth, we come out the world and in and out the world through the inner selves, the inner, you know, womb. We come out the center of your father. You know, you should know that the belly button, everything is divine in the center. So the center is the enter, it's the point of entry, outry, all of that. So that's how you go to your next journey. That's why everything is pointing there. A flower unfolds through the middle. It's just everything is telling you that if you just pay attention.
That's facts.
Yeah, Sanchez, man, I got a question for you. Something you said about the chakra system. Something I was thinking about was how basically a rainbow is showing you the same thing when you have light that's reflecting through the mist or the water or whatever, the raindrops, and it's like reflecting and it's refracting and showing you different colors. That seems to me to point to the holography, you know, like the simulation of something, because if that light is showing you all of the colors of the rainbow, which are the same thing as the colors of the chakras, couldn't that be the same thing as the chakras being like the spiritual side of the same thing? It's like
exactly. You got it, man. You got it, man. It's like everything around us is teaching us the truth about our fall from the highest realms. And you just hit it on the head with the rainbow, man. You know, the way, because rainbow ain't nothing but white light refracted and reflected.
Refracted, yeah.
And another word that you can use for that is white light being distorted and reduced and demoted. Because the thing about it is, let me break some down to you. Pink Floyd gave us this album cover.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I wanna. What was the name of that when I want to show they cover? That's the dark side of the moon, man. You know I'm tripping.
Hey man, don't start me to singing, bro.
Hey, look, this is so dope because I used to sell vinyls and I didn't even know how deep the artwork was when I first started. But you know, the more we move into music, people don't talk this esoteric stuff like that. They didn't even they would teach you so much just with the artwork. But this is dope. This is what you talking about because it's showing you how white light going into this prism and being refracted and turned into like the 7 primary colors or whatever. But yeah, that's what I'm saying because neither one of those 7 colors will ever be as bright as the white light was by itself. They all be lesser or dimmer. So that's how it's like saying that God fell and became 7 lower version of himself. And 7 days is the days of the week. God became weak when he became 7 versions of himself. And they call the
weekend when you done been worked to death.
And don't forget that Leviathan got 7 heads, and when all of the heads are alive, it's the weakest. It's the weakest. And when you start killing the heads, the power go into the last head, the last dragon, and is at its strongest point because the energy getting consolidated. But that story of Leviathan was teaching us about our light when it got refracted in the earth realm and scattered into 7 layers throughout 7.
Well, that bro, see that that's the sun was created on the 4th. Oh my bad, go ahead.
That's why you are humane.
The earth realm,
humane.
If you keep it,
it reflects the exact same thing. Because if you start, because
Yeah, that view was deep.
I was thinking about volcanoes one day, and I was tripping on how the volcano has the red, orange, and yellow like your lower chakras, right? But then when it busts up onto the earth, what happens? Trees grows out of that shit, and that's green. And then you go up another level, and you see the sky. The sky is blue. And you go up another level, and it's like that's the deep blue, and then that's the purple. And that's what I was really like, man. Yeah, just like this picture you're showing, but it's reflected also in the topography. You know, if you think about a volcano, that lava coming out, that's hot fire. That's going to be your yellow. Under the ground, you know, if you see a pool of lava, it's like red and orange. But so that, in my opinion, that's also reflecting the chakras, which further, in my opinion, shows that this is all a simulation. It's all a different, you know, like the falling of the light, the refraction of the light into the different frequencies. That's showing us that everything is repetition.
But and you know, and a lot of people, like I said, if you decode the Bible, you can see that the Bible is telling you this earth is a simulation. That's why I say in the beginning was the word. And any simulation is written out before anything happened. If I write out a video game, I already write out what Mario gonna do from beginning to end. You know, that's what it's saying.
Code of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And so,
and the pure light, go ahead, bro.
but look though, this ain't me believing and having faith. I know that everything written out to beginning to end because I have deja vu. See, tomorrow ain't a blank page in a book. The words for tomorrow are already written what I'm going to do. And sometime our mind can go into tomorrow and come back here. And then when the page flip, you say, I saw it before. Because the future already written and deja vu is proof of that.
And you've been, your whole thing,
like,
you're creating that tomorrow. You're creating that tomorrow.
Hey, let me say this right quick. Like the whole video game analogy is right on point. It's like you got the Xbox, right? That'll be the earth, right? You got the controller, right? That'll be the mind. The character in the game that you're playing is who you are. That so assimilated. If your mind is already programmed to do certain things, that's what you're gonna do. Now, if it's pre-written and like they say in the scriptures, at first it was the word, they telling you off top it's pre-written. At first it's the word. So that means when you born and they say like God know everything, you know everything you're gonna do. You wanna know why you know everything you're gonna do? Because it was written. And that's the point we trying to drive into the people.
And
man.
I just want to say this to y'all. They tried to get me up out of here, man. Whoever hacked me, they didn't want no damn money. They didn't. I'm telling you, it was mighty strange. But let me just keep the show on the topic though.
Illinois.
It's tough for retrieving. Whatever you did to retrieve it, you got to be tough for that, bro.
Yeah, real one for fighting for that for
I don't know how you did that, bro.
I ain't think you was gonna get it back, bro. Shout out to you.
I don't know if that's the personal question, but how you had the resilience?
Because let me tell you, I did almost give up a few times. YouTube and Google was like, "We sorry, man. Like you got to start a new channel." I ain't give up. I'm gonna tell you what happened was. What happened was, I found out that I could recover my Google account, and at that time it was hope for me because I was like, well, I'm locked out of my Google account. Google said that the reason I'm locked out because they can't verify that I'm the owner of my own account. So I was like, man, I know it gotta be some kind of way where I can verify this. But guess what? I had an old backup email from back in the day. And they sent me a password to it to say if you the owner, you would be able to know the password we just sent to that shit.
Said that shit, yep.
And then I typed that shit in and they was like, give us about 3-4 days or whatever. And they was like, okay, we verified your ownership and we recovered your account and shit. But then but that didn't mean my YouTube channel was back though, because the YouTube channel got terminated, and I had to go through YouTube now, and troubleshoot with them for like another week or two, and just to let them realize that, hey, y'all know I was hacked, and what the hacker did is what got the channel terminated. So I didn't do that, and y'all can verify that, but shit take time when you dealing with them, and they was able to ultimately verify. But see, it was so hard, y'all, to get my shit back. I'm not gonna lie, it's so easier to just protect y'all accounts and shit the right way and not fall for these little phishing scams than it is. I'm lucky because it's so many people that I've met while my channel was gone that never got their channel back, still trying to get it back for years and stuff like. And I didn't think I was gonna get mine back. But I met a lot of people, who, it's crazy now that I got mine back though.
Boy, you tough
Hey,
for remembering the old email, bro. I'm terrible on
hey,
remembering
do you think?
passcodes.
Hey, do you think a motherfucker really attacked your channel on some hate and stuff like that, or do you think they was just trying to shut it down and thought you weren't gonna go through the proper steps?
Whoever
Because
hacked me, they hacked my Google account. And normally when people hack your Google account, they want to get your banking information. They want to go and get, that's what's gonna fuck you up. They want to go and hit you, where it hurt type shit. Go in some of your Google accounts that you sign in with Google, maybe your Amazon, and you can pay through your shit because you sign in and redirect the shit. It's so many, I don't know what they can do though, other than
what's the
YouTube,
safety measure then
because
for it? Because they can do it again.
because what happened to me was like, hold on. What happened to me was like, I'm trying to explain to y'all, because the person that hacked me, they went straight to my YouTube channel and started doing shit that can get your channel terminated. So that's when I knew then, because it don't seem like a legit XRP person. Why would a XRP company hack me, promote they shit on my channel, and I'm looking at my channel knowing who the hacker is and who the public company, you can look them up. You can start a new channel and say, hey, this company over here. So in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, somebody using this idea. If I'm wanted to be fuck somebody up and just get their channel down, I would probably upload some other shit, just miscellaneous shit that I know would get them down, like porn bumming. I don't gotta do the porn. I can just get the shit and put it on theirs. That's what the porn bummer was doing. But in this case, they using a XRP video that is against YouTube guidelines, because YouTube don't play about that XRP, them coin scams, them little, when you scamming for them coins and shit. But they really big on that, man. And somebody
happened
got
around
on
the
my
same
shit.
time that boost.
It sounds like a young scheme rather than an older scheme for some reason.
But it seems weird to me, because I was like, yeah, like a XRP company, like why wouldn't you get a channel with 500, a million subs? Like, you gonna get a conspiracy channel? Them niggas ain't gonna buy your coin, and it ain't. That's like clearly to get you terminated, because the first thing, you can go and see all the activity what the hacker did when you recover your shit. And the hacker got in my shit and went straight to BROSANCHEZTV to get it terminated. I say I gotta be careful. Somebody don't like my message, man. Real talk.
Bro, a lot of people don't like your message. I think it's like a conglomerate. You already know what it is. How like the boule type shit them niggas be. I think that's what it was. If you ask me.
But it made me start thinking about my life too, man. Like, if a nigga take time out their day to do all that. Man, listen here, man. I'm gonna, hey, all right.
Same, man. What else are they gonna do? What other extremes are they willing to go to?
Because I got my shit back now, and I'm finna only get bigger if they hated that. Hey, let me give a big shout out to Bun Voyarvo. Thank you, man. He said, props to Bro Sanchez, free Bro Sanchez, Rose and Shield. Peace. Hey, that's good. That's some love.
Boy, you got out, boy. Boy, you a digger. You did that, boy, Sanchez. For
Nigga,
real?
that was crazy, bro. And
I'm talking about that
I
shit
had
came out
a
of nowhere. Niggas been looking like, what the fuck? Niggas thought, because that shit, you just did a show that night before.
Yeah.
So you know
yo,
everybody trying to look at it that fell
bro.
asleep.
Before you got your
The
shit,
niggas
bro.
It's
like,
so
damn, you
dirty,
ain't
man,
nowhere?
because what the hacker does, right, they lock you out of your own account, and now Google don't know who the owner is, you or the hacker. Now, both of y'all locked out the account, but the hacker don't care, because if their job was just to fuck your shit up, and the hacker is hoping you don't have no way to recover it. And I almost didn't, man. I was looking up old phones. I was going, bro, let me tell you something, man. I'm just finna quit talking about it right now because I don't want to even relive the shit. Like,
Nah, we just got to give you credit for that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because we here talking to you. You could
Yo,
have gave
just
up.
yeah,
We
I
had
just
on
want
your
to
channel.
get
You
back.
did that.
That's why.
I just
That's
want to
why it's
get back to
always
the teachings,
important.
man. Yeah.
That's why it's good you got other channels and shit, so you can actually tap back into your audience. Like if you start a fresh new channel, it's almost impossible to hit the algorithms in the first 6 months. In case you just do straight viral topics, right? So long as you got your backups, you can be like, hey, yeah, come over here. And you still got your core. You know what I mean? So keep your backups. Always keep them. And when you feel your channel hot, you gotta treat it like a trap spot. You gotta just quit going live. Just let it sit for a minute. Cause now they messing with me. So I'm gonna go ahead on this flat power because y'all keep messing with my main channel. It's cool, but yeah, that's how I would look at it
and what
because
they did was they
That's a
went on
good
your sit
point,
down with
Doc.
Bro
That's a good
Sanchez
point.
channel. They did the XRP live on your other channel. That what was it? The sit down with
Yeah.
Sanchez. They try to take that shit down too.
Yep, and bro, that was literally when the XRP boost when they was going through that whole little crazy thing on XR. Literally when they was like, "Yo, just buy it for dirt cheap. It's about to crash right now." That was literally when you was about to talk about it. So it's like, yeah, they hit certain people
So
for a
so
certain reason
so
Yeah.
so
so
we
hold
don't
on
talk about it.
with
But
me
go ahead.
myself. So now
What's up?
you make me thinking that it may
Thank God.
have been a legit XRP company though.
It
Then
might
if
have
that's
been.
the case,
It might because that's exactly because you remember you posted the jump that you was about to do the XRP video or whatever, but then it's that next day it was cut.
Damn, I ain't think about
That's
that.
what I remember. Now that's when the boom
that's
hit and
it.
all
That's
CNN,
it.
Fox News Network was talking about it as
Now
that
that's
channel got
crazy
cut.
right there now, Sanchez. Hold up
Yeah,
now.
connect them dots, cuz.
they must have been fishing a lot of people. I
Because
might
they
have
knew
been.
you reach a
I
lot of
might
us.
have
They
been
knew that you
part of.
reach
Yeah, they might. I might have been part of a whole group of people that got
a
fucked
real
up.
psyop because it was like, don't
So,
tell these type of niggas about it. Cut that right away.
mm,
Maybe I'm just speculating. Allegedly, let me
That's a
put
good
that out
one.
there. Allegedly, let me put that out there. Allegedly.
You
Allegedly
know,
right.
when you at the level you at, you got gatekeepers, man, and they trying to block you out for some reason. You know what I
A
would
half
do
a
if I
thousand people
was
every
you?
line. Go ahead,
If
bro.
I was you, I like just start running podcasts on 'em and flying people in. They'll fly themselves in to rock with you, but you're so paranoid. But they'll fly themselves in to rock with you. Set the camera up. You'll have me myself right there.
Yeah, I'm legally
I can
lethal for
see
sure. In
like
Ain't
Virginia,
nothing
if you
for,
come
ain't
here,
nothing
I
for
got you.
security team, Sanchez. I got security team
let
for
me
you.
say this.
I'm real
Hey, let
security,
me
my
say this.
family.
Hey, that podcast will really go. It'll go to 1 million subscribers. But
Nah,
listen,
I wouldn't, nigga. I ain't gonna
see
lie
me,
to you, bro.
man.
I'll stay right there in the stew. I'll sit my ass right
Nah,
there in the stew.
if it's
hey,
Yeah,
about,
this lay low for a little while.
people, you
At
see
least
what
me.
the
This is me
Breakfast
talking.
Club
I'm just
doing,
saying.
bro. You see what the Breakfast Club doing. Now imagine me
Bro, that's the Breakfast Club. This
awakening
is
mind.
Sanchez, bro. Them niggas
Hold
already
on, me.
compromised.
Hold on,
Let him finish. Let him
me.
finish.
Listen. Me awakening mind and Sanchez in front of microphones with the cameras on is do numbers.
Yes, it will blow the internet up.
let me
For sure, for sure.
let me say something real quick, guys. We at the 4 hour mark. Guess what? We gonna. If anybody want to do collaborations, I do that, man. Just let's get together in the email and let's have a topic and let's arrange it, schedule it, get the thumbnail, and you know what I'm saying. I'm with that. I'm approachable. Salutes to y'all, brothers. But guess what? I gotta get up out of here real quick, man. Unfortunately. But peace and much love to the
Peace and
panel.
power, fam.
And I'll see y'all on the next one for sure.
Salute.
Big salutes to y'all, man. Peace and love to the chat. I want to thank everybody again for the donations. If y'all got any topics you want me to cover, you can send those to my email too, and we'll cover them. Appreciate all my channel members and Patreons. Appreciate the support, man.